Welcome to OTL Endurance Championship Round 1 here at Sebring, and we are just about to start our 30 minutes of qualifying. We're getting a couple times on the board now from a few of our drivers as they go out and start a couple hot laps. Joining me in the commentary booth today is Luca Casale, not just commentator but event organizer as well. Luca, how are you doing?
Well, I'm just doing great. I mean, we got an exciting race coming up. An hour and a half of Sebring, so there's a lot of intense battling gonna be happening here.
Definitely, I agree. And I did have the chance earlier on in the day to myself have a little drive around the track. I went in one of the GT cars, so I believe we'll be looking for times around the low 2-minute mark for the GT cars. And what about the LMP2s? What times will they be looking for if they want to get on pole position?
Currently, from the practice sessions, we've seen around a low 44, so a lot quicker than real life, but these are quite unrestricted compared to it. So a low 44 might just be able to get you pole position in the higher class.
Of course, one thing these drivers are going to have to be dealing with a lot more than in their practice sessions is the traffic that's out on track. As you can see, without everyone even coming out the pit lane yet, there is a lot of drivers already on hot laps as we ride on board with the number 420 car. Nice. Tom Harding.
Yeah, he was, I believe, runner-up in last season's championship in the GT field, so he's going to be looking to maybe snatch that first place in the championship and well, improve on last season.
We're starting to see our first couple times come through. Zanderschaaf is topping the leaderboard with a 201.7. So that's those low 2 minutes we were looking at. A 3/10 gap to the next car behind, Tom Harding, who we were just talking about. And oh, Sebastian Duran goes fastest with a 201.5. These times are dropping as these drivers start to get in the groove.
Yeah, so we see with the GT field, it's going to be very close, as in practice there was a lot of times. Only less than tenths away. I mean, the drivers really seem to be pushing the maximum as much as they can and try to get every last second out of their lap time.
Speaking of pushing to the max, let's ride on board with Ethan Mills, who's heading into the first braking zone after turn 1. A very tricky corner. Sebring, a track famous for its bumps, so you're going to have to be careful with the car around here. You don't want to put too much load onto it and get it all out of position and end up in the wall. So let's see how he does. He's riding down now towards the first hairpin. It's a heavy braking zone here. Very easy to lock these GT tires, so he's going to take it a little bit deep. You can see there struggling with some locking as the smoke rises up off that front right tire, the low tire into the corner. A fast section through here again. Keep off those curbs because they can easily spin you in these very delicate GT cars. Into the next hairpin now, he's going to be braking hard. Swing the car around if you can get the traction, then you're going to get a good run out of here again. Back into a fast left-right section towards the next braking zone, which is in a bit of a curve. You want to brake diagonally. Again, get it rotated down into first. Bit of a lockup there from Ethan. Not using the full track, so this isn't going to be the fastest lap we've seen, but he's certainly pushing the limits as much as he can to try and gain some more lap time. This section of the track, again, very fun. This braking zone, it takes you off guard. You'd think you can take it a bit faster than you really can, and often we see drivers overshooting here. Again, swing it into this corner to kiss the curb as it's very flat. Could have used a bit more on the exit, but he's heading towards the final corners now. Now, this final corner, a very tricky one. You want to get on the brakes, but if you slow down too much, you risk losing a lot of time, but it's also extremely bumpy, so it's hard to keep the car hooked up to the racing lines. We see, Ethan running a little bit wide, and that's going to be in the wall from him, unfortunately. Isn't able to complete the lap, and he'll have to pull into the pits.
Yeah, as we see him just impede, I believe it was Emmanuel Steve as well, just trying to finish his lap and getting in the way. Hopefully it didn't affect his time too much.
Not much you can do about it in those situations, is there? Sometimes you just end up with a bit of bad luck and someone spinning out in front of you. Let's see if Emmanuel can get anything out of this lap still, and wasn't impeded too much around that final corner. It's not a long start-finish straight, is it? We've got quite a long run through that first sector, so it shouldn't lose him too much time.
Nah, not at all. I mean, the front straight is not too long. I feel like this will be the big overtaking sport as we see Emmanuel Steve coming through now, hard on the brakes, getting a good exit again on the exit curve there, trying to bring as much momentum as he can through, and trying to maximize the lap times. Will he have a good enough lap time for pole? Currently, I'm not too sure, as he kisses that apex, gets on the power nice and early, brings the car around. Hopefully that incident at the start didn't affect him too much.
And look at how beautiful that Ferrari looks, taking those corners, really swinging the car around the track. There is Emmanuel. Currently, Fabian is on GT pole with a 201.4. It's good to see the field so close to the top there, though. Just a tenth separating the first two drivers. And a couple sectors lighting up. I believe Sebastian Duran about to cross the line. Can he improve? Oh, he does, but not quite enough. Now dropped down to within a tenth of Fabian. Do you think Duran's got what it takes to take pole here today?
I mean, certainly he was the quickest in practice, and well, he just needs to get that little bit extra out of the car. But these are already times that we haven't even seen in practice yet. I believe the fastest was a 201.5, so they're already going faster than, well, they did in practice. So will Duran be able to get that little bit extra out of the car? We'll have to see.
Emmanuel Steve crosses the line with a 205.2. That pushes him up above Nacho. We'll see if he can make any more progress. Again, the first sector from Fabian going green. The second sector still just white there, so not improved in that one. Let's see what he can do through the final sector, as Tom Harding has just put a purple final sector in. So definitely some tough competition for Fabian if he wants to hold on to this GT pole.
Yeah, I mean, top three as well. 3 different car manufacturers. We got the Ford GT on pole currently, Ferrari in second, only just behind, and Zander in the Porsche, all battling it out for that pole position. I mean, it looks very close at the moment.
It definitely is, all within half a second as well. Like you said, the top 4, which is very good. Shows the bop is working well too. When we've got multiple different manufacturers all fighting it out, it means it's going to be down to the drivers to make the difference. No superior car here. We're having a look at Tom Harding, who's just gone green in Sector 1. Let's see if he can pull anything out of the bag. He needs to find 6/10 if he wants to get himself into that pole position, or at least starting on the front row.
Yeah, definitely. He's going to need a few more of them purple sectors that he got in that final sector. If he can just replicate it, as Will Buxton would probably say, if you're the fastest around the track, then you're going to be on pole. But he just needs to get that lap time, get it all done, and hopefully be in a better position for the race start.
It's a very technical circuit we've got here as well, isn't it? You can certainly do well in one part of the track and lose it all in the next. So consistency is going to be so important to these drivers if they want a chance at pole position.
Yeah, I mean, the bumps on this track, they're very evil, and they will kill you if you're messing around with them. We'll see a lot of drivers try and test the limits, especially in qualifying with the prototypes, just trying to find the limit and maybe go a little bit too overboard, spinning out because of them. And yeah, we'll just see who can push the car as much without dying, really. It's as simple as that.
Well, Tom Harding looks like he was able to push the car as he moves himself into the top 3 with a 201.6, getting closer and closer to Fabian at the top. We'll see if anyone else is able to make inroads towards that pole position. Cole Bradbury, who we saw was pretty quick during the practice sessions earlier in the day, he's trying to put in some good laps. Wow, you can see there, trying to maximize the amount of space used on the track, and that unfortunately has ended his qualifying run. Must have been a cut.
Yeah, maybe just getting a bit too wide, losing too much speed, just having to bail out on that lap and quickly go out and try get another few more in. Oh, as we see Luca going very wide, touching the gravel there, getting a little bit shaky on the exit. It might affect his run down the straight now. He's going to lose a lot of momentum. Coming into the final corner now, trying to avoid the bumps. Very bumpy. There's a few massive ones. He takes quite a wide line, cuts to the inside, and takes it back out wide. What will this lap time be? As he goes to the line now.
Oh, he's just starting one.
Oh.
Oh, what a disappointment. That was his outlap. Well, we can ride on board and have a look at how he does. You can see how close he's getting to the wall on turn 1 there. Looks like he's really starting to hook up this track now. Now, this braking zone is a tricky one. Trying to get the car slowed down and rotated without losing the rear. I always find really hard through there, especially through this tight, twisty first section. The curbs as well can be lethal, can't they, through there?
Oh, 100%. You do not want to touch any of them as they will send you flying.
We've seen Luca can be a quick driver, so if he can avoid these deadly curbs, if he can hook a lap up, he might be in with a chance of the top 5. But, like we've been saying, it's all about that consistency and then being able to manage that pace over the hour and a half of racing we have here at Sebring today, which is just going to be so exciting.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. It's looking very tight at the moment, and hopefully the prototype field will just be as tight and as close. So hopefully we get some great racing, and I mean, management with lapping cars around here is going to be the most crucial factor. You can have all the pace you want, but if you mess up trying to lap and overtake a slower car, then it might just completely ruin your race. It's definitely the most important factor in multi-class.
Certainly, and every driver is very selfish. They want to maximize their lap time. As Xander puts himself on pole with a 2-minute flat, so we're dropping times into 2 minutes now. We're about to see if Luca Centovi can hook anything up into this final sector. He's gone green in both sectors so far. Currently, his last sector's been lacking off the pace a bit of some of the other drivers, but we'll see if he can make up any time here as he's about to cross the line for GTE Quali 2 finish. Let's see who's going to be on pole here today. Luca moves into 6th, but Xander, he starts us off in pole position. There's a couple more drivers left to cross the line. We've got Joseph Davies coming through here now. Let's see if he can do anything in the BMW. He's about to cross the line. It is an improvement, but not good enough for position. Connor Roberts next to cross before we get the LMP2 cars out on track. And oh no, that's a big spin. That's lost him any shot. We'll see if he can get out of the way as Jan is about to come around. We've got one more driver who could be on for the pole position, currently on a lap. Jan about to cross the line. Is it going to be an improvement from him? It's not been green so far. It's not an improvement. Sebastian Duran, last one to cross the line. Will he get pole position? He gets 2nd ahead of Fabian, not quite able to make it to pole, 3/10 off Xander. Teo, who we saw improving slowly throughout the session, currently in 7th. He pulls into the pits, is not going for another lap. And Ethan, still out there on a lap. Is he going to cross the line and try and make up some positions here? He doesn't want to be starting down in 14th, ideally. A very tricky place to start your race from. And oh, looks like he's had a mistake. He pulls into the pits as well. So that is your GTE grid. Xander on pole, Sebastian Duran 2nd, Fabian 3rd. It's going to be an exciting race.
Definitely. I mean, that Xander lap time really came out of nowhere. We saw the grid only being, I mean, only a few tenths apart from the 1st to 4th, and that just came out of absolutely nowhere. It was a great lap from Xander, as we have an intruder then.
Am I intruding here? I'm some special guest here, but anyways, hello to the stream. I didn't think I was gonna be here. I've turned up a little bit late. I missed the GT session, but I've kept the last minutes, of the session. It is looking quite exciting, isn't it, guys?
Definitely. It's been a really exciting session so far. We've seen just how close all of the cars are, and now we're looking forward to our prototype qualifying session. Let's get them out on track and see what lap times they can put together.
Yeah.
And I just firstly I would like to introduce myself to the stream. Some people might not know who I am. I am Ven, Well, co-owner used to be 100% owner of OTL, and yeah, I founded OTL, and now it's season 3 of the Endurance Championship, which I'm very excited about.
We're definitely looking forward to this next series of the Endurance Championship. And Ven, who do you think is looking like a strong contender for potentially taking this year's championship?
For both classes, I think it's going to be a tight battle. I think for GTE, despite his qualified position right now, I think Jan is going to be one of the title alongside Xander. And as for LMP2, I think Lucas got in the bag easily. He's a very experienced driver, and I don't think anybody will be able to match him in LMP2. But we have to see how the qualifying session develops in a minute and 20 seconds.
1 minute and 20 then until qualifying for LMP2 starts. We've just heard league owners' predictions. Luca, what about you? What are your predictions for this race?
For this race, I mean, I think Sebastian Duran, he's going to come back in the race. He's going to have good race pace. I think he's going to be able to manage the track, the lapping a lot better than the rest. And for Prototype, I think a few people might have issues. I think Lasse might be the man to win it. He's got some great pace. He's won a few high key races in the past. OC Sim Series twice. He's a double winner now. And well, he has some great pace, and I think he's just gonna be able to manage everything a lot better than the rest.
Yeah, I think Lasse is, I think for me, runner-up in LMP2 in my opinion. I think Luca will edge him out, and I think we could easily see that battle go to the final round as long as they both turn up for every race and whatnot.
I think it's
As
definitely going to be close.
Also, Milan, with God's sake, he's a reigning champion. So he's also in the candidate, position for the title as well. As there you go, the cars are off, and it's now a race to say your qualifying lap.
We'll see who's able to put out the best lap. We've got Milan here now on our screens. Going to have to create a bit of a gap between himself and the other drivers in front. But we'll see what those guys can do. It's going to be really exciting out there today. And definitely these guys will be pushing, because if you can get points on the board early, well, that just helps your championship chances so much more. I'm sure you guys as racing drivers can tell us that as well.
Yep, of course. I participated in one too many championships, I would say, myself. And yeah, like just that first round is really important, because you get to assess the other driver's skills, what to watch out for, etc. So I think it's very important for the drivers right now to maybe some of the drivers who use this race in the test session, while some of them would just go guns blazing into the first race. And it's a marathon or a sprint, and we gotta see how the championship develops, and we're gonna see the twists and tails of race 1.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Round 1 is such a big factor in this. Well, I mean, we don't have many races this season, but round 1, not only for the points, but it could also affect you morally. If you mess up and lose the win, and just something silly like that, it can affect you in the next upcoming rounds, and might just worsen your performance over time. It's just really crucial to get a really good result here and boost your chances for the championship.
Well, let's see what Lasse can do to boost his chances for the championship, as he is about to take us on the first flying lap in the LMP2 car. We see him getting awfully close to the wall there in turn 1, now into this heavy braking zone. And having just gone from the GTE onboards to the LMP2, you can see the difference in speed through these corners. They look a bit wobbly halfway through the corner there, losing the rear slightly, but managed to keep it relatively clean so far as he heads down towards the first hairpin. A big braking zone here. We'll see if he locks up at all. Looks pretty smooth. Oh, and all over the curb, trying to maximize. Oh, a bit deep, though. We'll see if he abandons the lap. He's carrying on for now, but a little bit wobbly, touching the grass there. You don't want to do that too much, or you'll end up probably somewhere you don't want to be. We'll see as he goes down to the next heavy braking zone. Right-hander, swing it wide. You've got a little bit of curb to work with, but it is risky. It could spin you if you touch that one too much. It's quite a high one. Into this sort of corner braking zone and swing it right now and get all over the exit curb. And oh no, he's run off the road. That will likely be the end of his qualifying lap. Behind him, though, we've got, I believe, Milan already coming through the final sector too. So we'll see if he's managed to keep it clean as well through this twisty, flat-out section there and then swing it right. Use as much of the road as possible without getting that cut from real penalty, which is, oh, every driver's nightmare. Milan's got purple in Sector 1, matched by Luca Andretta. We'll see. They're coming around the final corner now. Lasse will be first to cross the line. We'll see what his time is. And, oh, yes, Milan keeping it tidy through there. You can see how bumpy it is on board these prototype cars. Lasse crosses the line. It is a 1:45. And Milan beats it 1:45.1, so very close already. We've got Luca Andretta, though, flying behind these guys. He's about to cross the final corner soon. We'll see if he can improve on their time. Currently, Milan, reigning champion, is on provisional pole. Let's see what Luca can do. And he moves up into the 1:44s, 1:44.7. That's a great time from him. As we get a couple of the drivers filtering through now, we see Taron going fourth. Oh, looking exciting from the first couple laps, guys.
Yeah, for sure. I have to agree with you on that one. And like I said, my prediction so far of Luca Andretta has come to fruition. Lasse in P3, a second off Luca, just shows you his skill in the LMP2 car.
Certainly does. We saw Lasse make a couple mistakes during that lap. We'll see if he can improve on those throughout. We see Azam as well lighting up Sector 1 with a purple sector, but Luca Andretta going faster still. We'll see how much more lap time's left in here.
Yep, for sure. And I think we're going to see, you know, again, for these 5 minutes, the drivers have probably got 2 or 3 laps left in them. So I think you're going to see some twisted tails in LMP2.
You want to be out on track then, maximizing your track time to get as many laps in as possible. Sometimes it can take 1 or 2 drives around the circuit to really start feeling the groove. We'll see if Lasse is feeling that at all. He was a little bit down on Luca Andretta's time through Sector 1 and 2. Sliding through Sector 3, going a little bit wide there. We'll see if he can improve as Luca Andretta again goes faster still through Sector 2. Will Lasse improve? He does, but not enough for it to be a meaningful place. We've got Luca Andretta coming around the final corner now. Look at that car. Looks great. The Lifeless Racing Team car there. We'll see if he can cross the line and increase his gap on pole position. And he does. 1:44.2 that time. Very quick indeed. Nearly a second between him and Milan. We see Jan about to cross the line. Well, he goes into second place. 1:45.0. A great lap from Jan there. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, with the shock of the century, I think, personally, for me, P2. I wasn't expecting that from Jan. I didn't know he had that in his locker, but there we go. That's the twisted tails of the Endurance Championship here in OTL. As the reigning champion goes in P3, running the 01 BMW F1 inspired livery.
Looking great. I'm sure he'll be trying to get his hands on another championship as we see Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on the side of Jan's car. He'll be happy in P2, but you can tell there's a lot of room for improvement with 7/10 to current pole sitter, Luca Andretta. So if any of these drivers have got time left in the bag with 3 minutes to go in qualifying, now is the time to show it. We see green sectors from a couple drivers. We've got Taron here going green in Sector 1, but still 9/10 down on Luca Andretta's time. Will Luca Andretta even want to bother putting another lap in, or do you think that'll be good enough for pole already?
I mean, I think it's the best for him to keep on track and try to do the fastest lap he can. And yeah, that's really have to say for that. I think you just have to be in there, setting lap after lap in these sessions, because that's crucial. With the consistency and improving, you have to treat this qualifying like a hot lap session, basically, a 10-minute hot lap session.
Yeah, just get as much time as you can on track and try and iron out any mistakes you might be having through certain corners. That's what we see a lot of these drivers doing. Taran not able to improve his position, stays in 6th place. We saw Lasse move up into 4th. We'll see if he can do anything, but that lockup there is not going to help him on his quest for the pole position spot. Currently 9/10 off provisional pole. We'll see if he's got anything left in the bag. Of course, if you're just going out there hot lapping, you will suffer a little bit from tire degradation and heat, but you'll also have the fuel burning off. And in these prototypes, the tires tend to be a lot stronger than in some other series, so they can get a couple more laps out of them.
Yeah, of course, and I think you're about to see now, I think with the final lap, I think drivers like Azam FK might just fully send it right now in their final laps just to extract one position at least, because that one position could be crucial for the race. It really could.
It looks like Azam may have been off the track there, though, which will not be great for him. Lasse going purple in Sector 2, so looks like he's absolutely flying on this lap. We'll see what he can do through the very bumpy final corner. You can see how hard it is to get it hooked up to the apex, but he's not doing too bad of a job. Looks like he's carried quite a bit of speed through there. We're going to see as he crosses the line. Could he be on for pole position? He moves into 2nd within 3/10. Ooh. Great second and final sectors there from Lasse, going purple in both. If only he could find a little bit more in Sector 1. He's got a little bit of time here. 1 minute left. He might be able to push Luca Andretta off that top spot. We will see.
Yep, and I think it's just going to be very tricky, I think, from now on in these final seconds of the session, because I think, like I said, the drivers now will be feeling the pressure. Not really like drivers like Luca Andretta, because I think unless Lasse fully sends it, as there you go, that's the driver who's felt the pressure. Stop goes spinning into the hairpin. But yeah, Luca Andretta, this is going to be his final lap for sure. And I think right now he's maybe trying to make a bit more of a secure lap rather than an actual guns blazing lap, which could be still an improvement. Smooth is crucial.
Yeah, he's going to want to give himself a bit of a cushion as he's got Lasse hot on his heels, literally right behind him on track. So he'll be able to see that Delta live, and it'll give him, I suppose, a bit of an indication as to what the race could be like if these two are locking out the front row. We know it's going to be tight off the start, this relatively small track and a massive amount of cars, so putting yourself on pole does give you a bit of an advantage when starting the race. Let's see Luca Andretta then keeping as much speed as possible through this final corner. Can he increase that gap to Lasse? He goes across the line. Ooh, wasn't able to improve there. Lasse about to cross the line now, goes into the pits instead, so it looks like that could be your front row unless Milan has anything to say about it. He's going to finish his flying lap. He's about to cross. And he moves up into 3rd ahead of Jan with a good final sector matching, all final sectors matching of a 23-2. So we can see these drivers are able to be very, very consistent even amongst each other.
I mean, that's the beauty really of a spec race, of a spec car. You know, in the sense that the only thing you can change really is the car itself. But then again, like the actual engine power, all that stuff is, you know, equal to each other. So it really is about the skill of the driver setting up the car, but also, like you said, to be able to find the limit, which the drivers have really done in Sector 3.
Exactly.
As a MK, I'm not... sorry to interrupt you, but I'm not sure if Azam MK is on the lap right now. No, he's not. He's definitely not.
I think all
Azam
the drivers
MK...
going in the pits now, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you would imagine so. So Top is gonna finish his lap. Let's see where that puts him. Not an improvement.
No, that's qualifying.
And that's qualifying over. So, Dan, well, you want us to round out the grid?
Yeah, we
between the classes?
Yeah, we can go through the grid. So on pole position then, overall, we have Luca Andretta, followed closely by Lasse, who'll be starting on the front row with him. Then Milan, reigning champion, currently in 3rd. He'll be looking to make moves in the race. Jan, a great performance from him, matching in the final sectors of fastest, going purple there. He's in 4th. Azam in 5th. Going to be happy with that, seeing if he can make any inroads towards the front of the grid. We've got Taran in 6th. He'll be looking to make some improvements again in the race. Tom Cliff, who I don't think will be completely satisfied with his qualifying performance, will be starting in 7th, and Ryan in 8th. That finishes off our LMP2 grid. Then in pole for GTE, we've got Xander, who put in an absolutely mega lap to get a 2-minute flat time. It's followed very closely by Sebastian Duran, who we saw was absolutely flying during that session. Fabian takes 3rd in GTE, followed closely by Tom, who'll be looking to make some moves. Cole and Luca Centorbi making up the midfield of that pack. We're definitely going to see some scrapping between all of those guys. Teo takes 15th overall. Jan 16th, which again, good position for GTE. There's a lot of cars on that grid. Corey in 17th, Joseph in 18th, Nicholas in 19th, Connor Roberts, who we saw has some pace in him, in 20th, Marco in 21st, Ethan Mills knit towards the back in 22nd. He'll be looking to make some moves. Nacho in 23rd, Emmanuel 24th, Arturo 25th, 26th Valen, and last but certainly not least, one of the LMP2s, Yatin, who didn't manage to put in a time, will be starting at the back. So that's going to be very difficult for him as the cars line up ready for the formation lap. Going to be an exciting race here then today. We've got a couple minutes for everyone to get their setups, get their pit stops sorted, and then we'll be rolling around the track for one lap before we start off, and these drivers truly go for it and show us what they've got on race pace. At the end of the day, you can be as fast as you want in qualifying. It all comes down to your race pace and what you're going to be able to do there. Pole sitter Luca Andretta, look at that view. He'll love seeing the clear track in front of him, and can you blame him? I would love to see it too, and you see Lasse right alongside will be looking to overtake him as quick as he can, won't he?
Yeah, by the way, I've heard some complaints about my bike. I hope it's better now. You guys keep it crucial if you want. I'm really here just for the fun of it, you know. I'm sorry if I'm bringing the stream quality down, but, you know, as a commentator, you know, it's always been in my blood to commentate, so, and I can't miss out on race 1. You know, you just can't miss out on race 1. And but yeah, to answer your question, I think the battle for the lead on lap 1 is gonna be out of this world. Honestly, I really do believe that. I think it's gonna be a very big spectacle, let's say.
Definitely, the light's about to go out for the formation lap as well. It must be exciting, as Season 3 of OTL Endurance is going to be underway with this rolling start. Lasse rolling ahead a little bit earlier than Luca, and Luca will take us round a nice little slow lap, and this is probably the slowest the drivers will be going all day, I can imagine.
This lap really, especially with no time like this lap is just to warm up your tires. There is no other function for this lap to warm up the engine, warm up the tires, maybe get used to some of the quirks that you might be facing during the race. Maybe like the bumps on the circuit. Maybe try to learn all the bumps on the outside line if you want to. But yeah, as long as you don't hit anybody, you're very chill on this lap.
We can see Lasse, he looks like he might want to just intimidate Luca Andretta a little bit, getting quite close there. We can see how the prototype pack and the GTE pack begin to separate the difference in speed between the two cars, which is good. It gives us a little bit of a break between the two race starts. We get to watch both fights for the lead, which is always fun. And yeah, it's going to be an extremely exciting race for everyone involved. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go for it.
Yeah, but I was just about to say that I think that the GT leader might be going race pace on the formation lap, which you shouldn't do. That's a big no-no if you ask me, because he's put a 3-second gap to the leader, which isn't very good, because he's far too ahead, in my opinion at least, so he might get a penalty for that during the race. We just have to wait and see. But I think that will be the outcome if he is going too quick with the formation lap.
He's been given some direction from race control to leave a 15-second gap between himself and the LMP leader. So we're going to see the LMP start a little bit earlier. And you can see he's backing up that GTE pack now as There's so many of them all clustering together, ready to fight. And you can feel the tension in the air. These drivers will be so excited for the start of this race.
Yep, as the cars now are lining up for the double file start. Depending on where you started, that's where you line up. Maybe you want to be lined up on the left. I'm not really too sure. I have to be honest. I'm not sure if you're left or right in this, but we just have to wait to see on the start, as it is the leader's call when to start. I'm pretty sure, and they're having some difficulties trying to get a side by side.
Contact! Oh dear! We've already had a spin on the race start. That is not good. We'll see what happens there. Luca Andretta is going to pull away now and extends his lead. What's happened at the back? There's 3 cars crashed out at the start of the race. Looks like we may be reforming the grid.
The GTEs are starting.
The GTEs
Can we
are
get
going
an extra
past.
formation lap? Wow, what are the LMPs doing? Just hold your brakes. GTE should be starting. They've passed the start finish.
We're having a restart. We're having a race restart. I thought so.
That will be a restart for after the LMP2 crash. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's all I have to say. I'm not sure who that was, who had that crash, but definitely involved some, some brake checking, you have to imagine. And why?
What's going on there?
I hope that's a visual glitch. You would hope.
Yeah, we would hope so. It might be potentially maybe something going on with the grid there. We should go on board with Lasse. It looks like he is facing the wrong way with Jan. Just some of the technical difficulties you can encounter when trying to hold a sim racing event. You can plan everything perfectly, and then something will always go wrong with the technical. Looks like the rest of the grid's formed up fine though, so we'll see if they can sort that out on the race start. Ideally just get them spun round and into position.
Yeah, I mean that's what the formation lap is, especially for like people like who maybe perhaps weren't in. By the way, I think Ben might be on the grid. I think Ben might have been able to make it to the grid. There's another restart session there to try and fix the issue, and there we go. It is fixed. And the issue is fixed of the drivers facing backwards on the start finish line, which is excellent. Can I comms? 1 2 3 1 2 3. Hello?
We've got everyone back sorted by the looks of it, which is good. We'll see. Yeah, it looks like the grid's fine there, Ben. So hopefully this start will be the real race start. We've already had a fake race start, a practice race start, I suppose. Get us warmed up for the real event.
I mean, right now this is kind of a little bit more psychological. I think the second start. Oh, Ben has just disconnected. What a shame. But regardless, the second start will be a little more of a psychological start, I think, from what I can see, rather than, I think it's just gonna be like you've had your first start, and maybe you've learned some of the drivers and how they reacted off the start, if you got the chance to, that is, of course, and maybe they can try use that knowledge to use it to their advantage in the race too. But I'm not too sure.
I think now as well, there'll be less issues on the start too. These guys will know what they're doing. They'll be able to back up the pack to the correct place and go side by side properly. So it should help with a bit of confidence. It is always race one and different formats, different tracks. People can find it hard to get into that groove. So ideally this will give us a bit more smooth running and a bit of a practice on the first one. Lights about to go out, 10 seconds till the start. And we'll see these guys rolling around once again, warming up their tires.
Yep. And you have to be very careful. Like, even if it's the formation, they're just gone. Hopefully that's not a jump start, because you don't want to get a jump start on the formation lap. But yeah, some of the LPS drivers went before the leader, which is kind of not encouraged, I would say. But regardless, GT should be getting off anytime shortly, as Xander, of course, leading the pack. Sebastian got pole, or who did get pole in the GT? I'm so sorry that I don't.
I believe it was
Xander.
Xander who was on pole for GTE,
Yeah.
as far as I remember. Although it looks like, yes, Xander's leading the pack, so it must be Xander
I
on pole.
believe there was a bit of confusion in the first attempt of the formation lap. Zander, I believe, was just sat on the grid waiting for a good enough gap for the LMPs, but everyone overtook and he tried to make his way through the field and
Oh wow, I mean, that's a penalty for the other drivers, not for him. I think that's fair that he's trying to create the gap. You know, with like a virtual gap. You know, you can't of course get it right, but like you said, the 15-second gap should really be a thing between the classes. And as you know, the drivers of course need to respect the space and to weave around and brake check and whatnot, and always be alert for the brake check, because that's the best way to warp your brake via the brake check. So yeah, maybe some of the drivers will have TC off for the formation lap. Of course they'll turn it on right back off for the race, but no TC for the formation lap. You could easily spin up the tires and poof, you're gone.
Definitely got to be careful on the formation lap, which we saw in that first start. People making contact on the formation lap was what ended up getting us a bit of a race restart. So hopefully a bit more respect between the drivers, like we did say in the race briefing earlier for those who weren't there. It's a 1 hour 30 race. There's a lot of time to make up positions. Not everything has to be done in turn 1. But we are expecting to see potentially a little bit of carnage with some of these drivers into the first couple corners, so it's going to be an exciting race start nonetheless, and these guys are all really close, as we saw in qualifying. They're coming down the final back straight now. They've got around one more corner, and then it's up to Luca Andretti when he puts his foot down and gets the race officially underway between these guys here. They're getting side by side, and oh, it just looks great, that grid.
I mean, shout out to The Rock. But regardless, I think the start is hopefully going to be better this time, and I think the drivers they've actually lined up properly. Luke a little bit more wide than you would expect, but that's fine. As long as you don't get a crash off the start, that's all we're really looking for.
And OTL Season 3 is officially underway. The cars, and that's a great start from Milan, who moves himself into first. He was very ready to react. Same with Azam. Both of them guys getting through. And wow, so that's dropped Lasse and Luca Andretti right back. A poor start. And oh, there's been contact near the back. We see a car off there. Let's have a look at our GTEs. They're about to start the race too. And Xander's pulled away confidently there. Sebastian Duran following. We can see Fabian all over the back of Tom Harding. We'll see if he can make anything happen there. And wow, these gaps are already very close. Milan taking the overall race lead. Luca Andretti back into 5th from pole position. That is no good. Fabian looking to make something happen. The GTEs keeping it clean. And we see contact near the back as well. Someone sliding a lot of lockups there. Oh, they've kept it clean just about. We can see the middle of the pack is really tight and bunched up there. No one losing out or winning big time in GTA off the race start, with Xander actually pulling a 1 second lead already. So great start from him. Not like for our LMP2 drivers though, as Zam and Milan winning massively off the start there. Luca Andretti losing out quite a lot, but we can already see the racing is extremely close between these guys. So reigning champ in the lead already. Whoa, what a race start.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, Luca Andretti and Lasse must have had some sort of contact as they both dropped down a few positions. As we see Zander, though, in the GT lead, pulling a 1.4 second gap at the minute. He's definitely flying away from the rest of the pack there.
Can we just talk already about the disparity between LMP2 and the top guys and the bottom guys? 5 seconds already between Luca and Ryan. So the top 5, you can right now looking at them. That is going to be the championship fight. I think so very much.
Lasse round the outside at turn 1, trying to make it stick to get 3rd place. He's running very wide over the curb there. They're going to be side by side into the first braking zone. Oh no, Jan keeping it just ahead. A good defensive maneuver from Jan. I thought Lasse had him on that corner there. You can see these guys getting really close. Cole Bradbury though, he's going to send it down the inside and he makes the move stick. That's a position up for him. Ooh, not quite though. Still behind Tom Harding. They're really going at it, these guys. Side by side, quite a few of them. We'll see if he can get the move done on the start-finish stretch. He's going to catch a bit of a slipstream there. You can see some damage to Tom Harding's car from that lap 1 contact. We saw some of those GTE drivers suffering from. Round the outside, it didn't work for Lasse. Not quite going to work for... Ooh, Cole getting pushed wide on the curb there. They're going to be side by side into the braking zone. Will anyone make a move? Oh, contact again! Oh, no, and someone's off! Who's that off? Is that Luca Centorbi dropping backwards?
That's Duran, I think, no?
Duran, who was in second at the start. Oh, dear, that's no good for him.
That's LMP2 wide as well. I saw LMP2 wide, or I could be bugging.
Could be Yatin. Looks like he might have some damage. He's dropping back, letting people pass. But the top 5 in LMP2 are so close. Look at this. They are all slipstreaming and racing along with each other down this back straight. It's going to be absolutely insane. This is all the battle for first place overall. This race is getting off to a great start. Luca Andretta not happy with his race start. You could just see his reaction time was slow. He got overtaken immediately on the line by Milan and Azam.
I think again I think he might not have been aware that you can overtake after start finish line if passed. You know, that's a pretty common rule in rolling start, so therefore he the pack after the start finish line. Maybe he didn't execute the start perfectly, and now he's paying the price. But I think you've got 83 minutes left of this race, so and a pit stop as well, which depending on when you make a pit stop, it's crucial for the race.
Yeah, sorry to butt in, but I've got some insider information about Luca Andretta. Apparently, he might have a little bit of wheel damage, maybe a bit of contact on that first lap, and getting a bit of damage. And clearly, that's affecting his race pace right now as he tries to make a move around the outside of Jan, but it goes for the switchback. Is he going to make it past? And he does. He makes a wonderful move around the outside.
Excellent move. I mean, Luca, can you tell us how much the damage would affect the drivers? Like, depending on light damage or heavy damage, how much do you think it will slow them down?
Light damage, it shouldn't be too much difference, but if you get a lot of damage, you'll expect to see your lap times dropping a lot and a lot.
What do you think is the biggest form of damage the drivers could receive here? Is it aero work or suspension damage?
Oh, suspension always going to be the biggest damage that anyone can receive.
Because some of the drivers might be okay with suspension damage. They will just have to be alert to keep the wheel left or right, depending on how bent it is.
Yeah, I mean, clearly Luca Andretta is coping with it at the moment, but his GT field is still extremely close. Everyone's trying to get as many positions as they can.
Yeah, can we just talk about how it's the Dutch domination again? You've seen it in Formula 1, now you're seeing the LMP2 class here with Milan Ailing. Clearly the Dutchies are very good at driving cars apparently now.
Azam, though, there was losing out to Lasse, who's got himself back into second. Ooh, big lockup from Azam there too. So his flying race start hasn't benefited him, so we'll see if Milan can keep this gap he's got at the front at the moment. Pulled 1 second after that battle, but looks like Lasse is flying towards him, so it might not be Dutch dominance like you tend to see on a Sunday in a certain other racing league, but it could instead be a battle between Germany and Dutch for who can be winning. And we see our first couple cars getting lapped now, or very early on in the race. Looks like one of the GTEs suffering with a bit of damage there, going off the track.
That would be Valentorton, I think, in the Porsche there, in the pink one.
Sebastian Duran. He's trying to make his places back up. Can he do that into turn 1? He's side by side with the yellow Lamborghini of Luca Centorbi. Luca Centorbi trying to put on his defending skills there. Bit of a lockup, which is going to lose him some time, but he's keeping Duran behind for now, which is going to be tough, seeing Duran's pace was absolutely immense. Who do you think's got the upper hand in this one, Luca? Do you think the Luca we know well, Centorbi, is going to be able to keep him behind, or do you think Duran, it's just a matter of time before he gets past as they go side by side? So my question will be answered through this corner. And no, good defending skills from Chentorbi there.
Yeah,
Can I
definitely.
just sorry to interrupt. Can I just point out that said Lamborghini? I don't see a Lamborghini on this grid.
I didn't say Lamborghini.
I heard Lamborghini. I heard you said Lamborghini. I'm 100% sure. We have to look back with the vote.
Should I say Luca
but
Chentorbi?
The Lamborghini of Lucas Chentorbi is looking very vulnerable right now by Sebastian Girard, and I think Girard is, I think right now forced to give it to the mistake, really. But it's still very competitive driving by Luca, you have to mention that.
He's all over the back of him. He's going to try and come around the outside. We'll see if he can make it stick, but still Chentorbi giving it everything. I mean, this is the type of defending you want to see, even if it is an endurance race. And Duran, it looks like he's got the move made there, and he does. He's ahead of Luca Chentorbi, who won't be liking that he's just lost a position to a fellow Ferrari. Definitely not a Lamborghini. Definitely a Ferrari we're seeing on track there. They're still side by side.
I think I just saw the first retirement there. Yati Kanoji has disconnected from the server, therefore I think we just saw the first retirement of Season 3.
That's very unfortunate for Yatin. He was complaining about having not much grip overall. But as we see, Ryan now on the back of Jan, that is. And Luca's gone back through past Sebastian Duran. As they go into the first corner. Not sure what's
somebody was
there.
off in the grass at the back straight. We need to check that out.
Oh, Lucas Torby holds it round the outside. What a move. Keeping Duran behind. He's not the ARL ACF1, ACF2 champion for no reason. So Luca definitely showing that he can defend and he can keep Duran behind him for as long as he wants.
Luke, I'm going to have to correct you there because our ARL ACF1, ACF2 world champion is actually currently running in 7th place, Lassie Albrecht. This is your ACF, ACRL IndyCar champion who's currently holding off Duran. Just to make sure you're getting your facts right there. But yeah, he's pulling away a little bit now too. Not sure what happened to Lassie. Something must have happened. He's in the pits by the looks of it. Which, yeah, he's doing a very early pit stop because he was running in 2nd and now Azam is in 2nd. So clearly he's had a mistake or picks up some damage. If we can find that out, that's really interesting.
Yeah, he must have had a big shunt. I think we saw an LMP going off in the background earlier, a few minutes ago. Maybe that might have been him and he's just had to come in and repair that damage. Try and get the upper hand with the early pit stop. And
as Ryan is off, I think.
Yeah, Ryan. Oh, Ryan dropping back even behind the GT because he's trying to fight with Taran through those corners. But Luca Andretta, whoa, what is this? It's about 7 wide. You see Luca Chentorbi, Sebastian Duran, and then side by side, Luca Andretta and Azam just behind Milan. This battle for the lead is incredible. Azam keeping the inside line, making it work and stays ahead. Wow. What a race between these guys there.
Yep, that was an incredible battle, and I think the battle for the lead is definitely going to spice it up. You definitely have to watch out for the LMP2 battles. Look at that, now they're fighting with the GTs, which is the hardest part of the endurance race. Fighting through the slower cars.
Oh, who's got off there? That was a big cut. Oh dear. Looks like Azam went off and lost the position of 2nd to Luca Andretta, who's now going to have Milan looking in his mirrors because Luca Andretta, despite his poor start, is making those places back up. I'll tell you who else having a fight for a lead at the moment. Fabian is all over the back of Xander. That gap has been dropping rapidly. So Xander, despite being able to pick up a couple seconds on those first few laps, it's dropped back now. And Fabian can see Xander is sniffing the rear end of him. Let's see how this battle develops. Just 0.6. The gap is real time, but as a racing driver, you're looking for any mistakes and try and make the overtake at this distance if you can. And ooh, the curb pushing Fabian a little bit wide there.
Yep. You know, I'm just looking through this. That's battle for P1. This is a battle for P1 overall. So we definitely have to keep an eye on that. So I told you, Luca Andretta is coming through, but my biggest worry right now, I think, is Lassie. He's one who's really out of order, and I don't think he will have nor the tires nor the fuel to make it to the end. Have to pit again.
This
Which
is the battle
is-
between LMP1 and GT leaders, and now they're all lapping each other. They're all happening at the same time. Luca Andretti, oh, he goes a little bit wide into there, letting Milan stay ahead. But we saw they were bumper to bumper, as Zam hanging on the back as well, as Fabian looks to gain time in the traffic. The slipstream here taking a little bit of effect, but like we talked about, this start-finish straight isn't very long. They'll go side by side into turn one. We've seen the inside line be powerful, and Milan's defending skills are incredible here, don't you think? He's doing a really good job to keep Luca Andretti behind. You can see him taking those defensive lines into the corner, and he's not making any mistakes now, which... Oh, and Azam taps the rear. It looks like Milan's trying to back the pack up a bit, because Azam's just tapped the rear of Luca Andretti, who was already suffering with damage. This race is incredible.
Yeah, sorry to butt in, but as someone who's raced with Milan in the past, his defense is just to back you up into other people, and he does an excellent job of it. He's really good at defending, just making sure he stays within the rules, but getting as much out of the rules, just to make sure the car behind can stay behind, backing the pack up to the cars behind him. As you see, look, he slows down so much in the mid corner that it forces Luca to hop off of the accelerator just a bit earlier than he'd like to. And it just means Azam can close in and try and capitalize and get in front again. And, well, then you got a defensive masterclass here going on.
If you're Milan as well, you've got to be thinking you'd rather have your teammate behind you than... than Luca Andretti, surely. So trying to back Andretti up into Azam and see if Azam can maybe make a move is an extremely good idea. And like you said, it's really working. He's showing us a defensive masterclass here. We've got Carlo, oh, Azam locking up in the rear, going a bit wide. He's losing that time. So Milan's going to have to do a bit more backing up if he wants Azam to take that position.
Yes, I would have to agree with you, but I think that for me, I'm really worried about Latti's race and how that's going to develop, because he's out of sync, firstly, and secondly, he will have to make an extra pit stop, you would have to assume, because I don't think you're getting 70 minutes, 80 minutes out of the LMP2 stint.
Speaking of pit stops then, and hang on, as we see, Joseph Davies getting overtaken by Corey Andrews. Corey Andrews, we saw there, was trying to get past him before. We saw Joseph go a bit wide, and he locks up there, and that's given Corey the place. That's P15 overall. He'll be happy with that overtake. Those two running close together. Speaking of pit stops, though, Ven and Luca, either of you can answer this one for me. How many stops are we expecting our drivers to make during this race? We've seen Lasse make one already, so how many more are we expecting from all of our drivers here?
Well, you have to serve one mandatory pit stop. Osego, yeah, in the pit early. So the GTEs will go longer than the LMP2s, that's for sure. They have a bigger fuel tank, which allows them to go longer for an hour and 10 minutes. Presumably calculated by, as you see right here, by Jan. But I think you're expecting one, and that is the mandatory pit stop. If you make any extra, you're really just shooting yourself in the foot, realistically.
Good to know. So not going to be too many pit stops, and that means relatively everyone will stay in this order. As we see all of these guys in the front of LMP2, the championship contender. Well, everyone's a championship contender at this stage, but these guys are making the most of it, and Milan still backing them up. This is such a great drive to watch. He's just on point. His consistency is unmatched at the moment as well. The battle is well and truly underway for the GTE lead too. Not to be ignored, as Fabian's still within a second of Xander Scharf. He'll be wishing there was DRS in this race. Unfortunately, there's not.
Yep, for sure, and yeah, I think you're gonna see this race develop really over the course of the next hour or so. I think you will see a lot of changes, especially in the gaps between the drivers. But Lasse is pretty much a minute behind Aslan right now, and sadly, I think Lasse's race might be already over before it started, unfortunately, because of that extra pit stop he'll be forced to make. If he makes that one stop work, incredible driving. That's all I have to comment on that.
He'll have to be fuel saving and tire saving for either the first or last part of his stint. We'll see what he's going to be doing. He's putting in some reasonably quick lap times at the moment, faster than anyone else in the LMP2 field. So you'd imagine he's either going for the 2-stop or he's going to save it at the end. And still, Luca Andretti not able to find a way past Milan as Zam has dropped right back. So something must have happened there as Zam had a mistake or something, because those three were really close together. Now 12 seconds behind on the delta, it looks like. So it's going to be Milan on his own without the support of his teammate, which I'm sure he's not going to be too happy about. He would have rather had another driver there supporting him, just putting Luca Andretti under some more pressure as well.
Yep, I would have to agree with you there, Dan. But unfortunately, my time in the commentary box is coming to an end now. Unfortunately, I have to say goodbye to the stream, and I'm gonna have to leave you with Luca here alone. I hope the race develops really well, and like I said, my predictions for this race winner is gonna be Luca. I think he'll overtake Milan somewhere or another, even in the last lap. Bonsai pass, what a drift! And I think for GT, I think you're gonna see a surprise victory of Cole Bradbury. I think he will emerge as a little bit of a tortoise in the hare. He will be the tortoise in this fable of this race.
Well, Ben, I'm excited to see if your predictions come true. It's been great having you in the commentary box. Feel free to drop by more often. It's been amazing, and yeah, it's sad to see that you have to go now, but thank you for joining us.
It's always been a pleasure. This is my try and drop in for more races relates to introductions and whatnot. But yeah, it's been a pleasure, and I'm gonna leave the stream now with you guys. Are they capable of telling the tales of this race? And that'll be goodbye from me. Enjoy the race, and goodbye.
See you later, Van. Interestingly, we didn't get to see it, unfortunately, but Fabian has made it past Xander to be in the lead of GTE. So now looking to extend it, but ooh, a bit wobbly out of that corner there. So the battle between those two still heating on. It's really hard to pick a battle to focus on when you've got the LMP2 and GTE leaders so close. It must have been a mistake from Xander, because it was a bit of a bigger gap than the LMP2 cars at one point. But Luca, this is incredible to watch.
I mean, it's been an absolutely amazing race as Luca Andretti tries to put it down the inside of the not only Milan but GT cars. He now tries around the outside and can't really make any move there. It's just too tight. It's very much a one-car corner. As we get a bit of lap traffic on the exit, it might have worsened Milan's run going into the chicane now. As Luca just brakes a little bit, tries to get back in the slipstream. Not entirely sure what the plan is. Maybe to try and get a switch back here and under and over onto Milan, but doesn't get the run he wants. But he's going to use that slipstream now to good use as Milan gets very much caught up with a GTE there. That was insanely close. I believe that's Connor Roberts just getting in the way of this battle. I mean, this race has been very intense now, and even the lead is still, the battle's still going on. It just shows, even half an hour in, how much can still be going.
There certainly is a lot going on as, they're getting very close, side by side through this fast section. This looks like the best chance that Luca's going to have. Milan trying to push him off the curb, and Milan goes wide. He cuts the corner to stay in front. That is going to have to be investigated. Surely he's got to let him through and give the position up. There's no way that's a legal move. He completely left the confines of the track. That's going to have to be investigated.
If Luca did leave enough room, but it would definitely be looked at after the race. We'll have to check it. It looked a bit like Luca just tried to push Milan a bit too much wide and the curb just sent Milan off. But yeah, it will definitely be looked at and reviewed.
Yeah, some interesting racing there. I'm sure both drivers probably feeling unjustly given room by the other. So the battle rages on between these two until after the race when penalties will be applied, but still, I feel bad giving these guys so much screen time compared to everyone else, but the fight is well and truly on for the lead, and unfortunately, that's what we're going to have to focus on. I know Sebastian Duran is all over Cole Bradbury too, and there's fighting going on there. All throughout the midfield, there's some really good fighting. A couple cars towards the back. We see Jan, Val, and Ethan. We've seen them getting lapped quite early on, so not sure what happened to those guys. We'll see if they can pick up the pace, potentially after early pit stops, but yeah, this battle is raging. Luca Andretti trying to channel his inner Mika Hakkinen earlier on there and send it down the inside through lap traffic. And oh, he's getting out of shape, so that's going to give us a bit of a chance to hop on board with Sebastian Duran, who's making his way back up. We saw him tangling with Chen Torby. He's cleared him now. Let's see if he can get anywhere near the rear end of Cole Bradbury.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely working his way through the field, but even if he gets past Cole, he's got a 17-second gap to the car ahead. I mean, I don't think he's going to get much more out of this race, but again, there's still an hour remaining. Anything can happen. The leaders might get punted off by an LMP, they might get slowed down. Anything can happen, and Sebastian is not out of this yet.
Definitely, the leaders of GT are both pushing hard as well. You can see, still within a second, that fight too. It's... Oh no, there's contact! There's contact, Milan's gone! Milan's gone, he's spun, he got hit into the pit wall, and there's going to be another big crash! Oh no! That is terrible for Milan's race. He's not going to be happy. He's going to have to pull into the pits there. That's a huge crash. Looks like Tom Cliff caught him as well. Wasn't able to slow down. That wasn't Tom's fault. He just came through the final corner. Didn't expect to see Milan there. And that's given Luca Andretti the lead by 12 seconds. Oh dear. It'll be interesting to see the full incident that happened there. But wow. That was not what we were expecting. Azam now probably going to make his way past Milan, who's, yeah, off the track suffering with damage. That has ruined Milan's race. That's it. It's over. He's not... That's terrible for him. I know there's an hour left, but it was going so well, and then one mistake like that. Oh, heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's got a lot of damage now, and his race is basically over. I'm guessing
Azam's gone back to the pits. Azam is out. He's had a crash and is out of the race, gone back to the pit lane. So Milan and Azam suffering issues. Luca Andretti takes the lead comfortably. You see Milan there suffering with some kind of aerodynamic loss as his rear end is sliding through those corners. Oh man, wow, that's not what we expected to see, was it?
No, I think he's got suspension damage on the rear from Tom Cliff driving into him. I think he's crabbing all over the place, so it makes any type of corner just disgustingly hard. But Lucas and Torby and Tom Harding battling their way, pushing each other wide.
And Torby off. Oh, it's given Tom Harding the place there. Unlucky for Luca, who we know's been battling for 3 months in the hospital and is happy to be back to sim racing now. Ahead of him, Cole Bradbury still trying to get past. Oh, well, Sebastian Duran's got past, but Cole Bradbury trying to come back at Sebastian Duran, as looks like the fight for first in LMP2 is well and truly over, with Azam and Milan suffering issues of their own. And oh, contact between Duran and Bradbury. Duran keeps it on the track, so does Bradbury just about, but nearly saw him go to a spin there. Take it easy, guys. There's an hour left. Plenty of time to make up positions. The race is not over until the checkered flag waves. I think we need to have a talk, though, about that incident that happened for first. We didn't see the whole thing, but did you expect to see Milan go sideways there? He looked like he was so in control of the lead of that race. Something must have happened. We saw a GTE car involved too. Any predictions or anything you're hearing?
I've got a few words from the same Milan's engineer here. Apparently, Luca and Tim were battling into that final corner, and there was a GTE in the way. Milan tried to avoid the GTE and went into Luca Andretti, what spun him round, and then I believe Tom Cliff drove it into Milan as well. And it just means there's basically too much damage for Milan to even attempt at coming back at this. But I believe he's still driving. I don't think he has gone to the pit lane. Oh no, he's gone into the pit lane now. So it's going to put him way behind. I don't think he's going to get anything else out of this race.
He's still got some sort of a gap he had to Lasse. Lasse going to be happy with this moving into second, but remember, Lasse could be making a second stop in this race as he stopped earlier on. So I don't think it's all over for Milan yet. Potentially, the race win is out of his field of view, but the chance for a podium, I don't think is completely off the cards. He'll be pulling back out onto the track now. We can see he's rejoining just ahead, just behind these GTE leaders who are fighting it out still between Xander and Fabian. So I don't think it's completely over for Milan at a shot at the podium. And sometimes a podium is what you need in the grand scheme of a championship. He'll take all the points he can get, surely, during these races.
Yeah, definitely. In a season like this, every point counts. The point system is quite close together to make sure that if you're able to get a better position, then it's going to be well worth it in the overall standings. I mean, last season we saw a few positions decided by a few points on the last round, especially in the team championship. We saw one team going from second, I believe, down to fourth or fifth, just because of them extra few points, and it really shows that every position matters right now.
And every position matters to this man we're on board with, Azam, who can sniff a podium after what happened to Milan. He's had some issues. We've seen him dropping back, spinning a little bit, and getting involved in a couple incidents. But now he is just behind his teammate, cutting their way through traffic as they look to catch Lasse ahead, who could be making another pit stop from here. We'll see. I don't think Lasse's chances, if the strategy goes his way, for a win are completely out the window either. Do you?
I mean, a 19-second gap. I believe pit stops are only around 70 seconds. So even if Luca does make that pit stop, he's going to have to catch quite a lot. And at the moment, Luca 3 seconds quicker that last lap. I don't think Lasse can win this race.
A couple men who we know quite well whose races aren't going too good is Luca Centorbi and Ethan Mills, currently within one position on track. We saw Luca Centorbi quite near the front of the GTE field at one point fighting. Looks like he's had a couple issues though, and he's dropped way back down into 20th overall. So something got on there, and shows how even a good start and some good fighting early on, if you get involved in incidents, things don't go your way.
Yeah, I mean, the packs are so close together. That means just any error that you have or any incident you're in, it can just completely turn your race upside down. And I mean, Sebastian Duran was a great example of it. He had a belief he spun or had some contact or something, and went from second to near the back of the field. But right now he's working his way back through, and he's back into that. I believe he's. Oh, nah, he is a few positions behind, only in fifth. Cole's back ahead, though. I thought he cleared him.
Yeah, Cole and Sebastian were going at it. Those two obviously very quick drivers during qualifying, and still fighting for the lead of Fabian and Xander. So we don't want to see a repeat of what happened to the LMP2 lead. Hopefully no contact or incidents between these two, because they have been absolutely going for it. A race of attrition. You can see the lap times within 4/10 in favor of Fabian this time round, but Xander will be catching, and there's always traffic involved, so sometimes lap times in endurance races can't always be the most reliable. You know, it's over a long period of time. You have to be consistent, and Xander being this close shows the two of them pace-wise are very evenly matched, and it's going to come down to who can be the most consistent and therefore make those moves. Looks like Azam has got past Milan, and Azam currently running in third. Milan will be looking to fight with his teammate, which sometimes not advised, but I think in this time they're both going for it. They both want to continue championship success, Milan being the reigning champ of last season.
Yeah, Milan was hoping to... Well, he was the reigning champ of the GTE field, but this season he's swapped to Prototype back again. First season he was there, second season wanted to try out the GTs, and back into the Prototype, trying to get that championship that he lost in season 1 by me. I was the rightful winner of that, so he's just trying to get that that championship back.
And we see Xander getting closer and closer to Fabian. Looks like as the LMP2 of Ryan makes it past. And you see Ethan Mills there getting all in their way as he runs in 20th. He's still ahead of a couple different drivers, though. A bit of a gap between him and Chen Torby. But I think a solid drive so far, as long as he can keep it clean from now on. Bit of practice. And Duran is trying to make a move on Cole Bradbury into this tight hairpin. Is the switchback going to work? No. Cole Bradbury's got it blocked, got it covered. And the Ferrari's going to have to sit behind that beautiful Porsche for just a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, as we start to see now, the sunset is coming into play. Track conditions might get a little bit colder, so people on the softer tyre with the higher temps are definitely going to be benefiting from this. As Milan just making a move on Azam. I'm not sure what happened then.
Do you think team orders are in play there?
I think so, but I mean, Azam flashing his lights after. Maybe Azam was trying to avoid it. I'm not entirely sure what happened there.
It did look more like Azam moved off the racing line and allowed his teammate through. So either he ran very deep into turn 1, or Milan was just saying, well, look, I've got a bit more pace in me, let me push, and we'll try and get Lasse working together rather than fighting with each other. Which, as you know, in racing, sometimes you might want to stay behind someone for a little bit. It looks like Xander is pulling into the pits. No, not quite.
Yeah, him
so Fabian and Xander into the pits together. Oh, that's going to be close on exit. It does move Duran and Cole up into provisional first and second before their pit stops. Have either of those guys stopped yet? I think they're yet to stop, as they're still battling out for that last GTE podium spot.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see who can get the faster pit stop. If one of them has Ferrari pick-free, they might be just slightly behind and it might cost them a few seconds, but hopefully neither of them does. But Sebastian Duran has to watch out for that.
Cole Bradbury's looking in his mirrors at the moment. It looks like Jan in that blue Ferrari thinking about potentially, blue Ford, thinking about potentially unlapping himself on these two. I wouldn't if I were you, because they are fighting it out for the podium spots, and if you were to take one out, that wouldn't look too good. I don't think they'll be too happy. Let's see, Fabian back out. Xander looks like he had a bit of a slower stop. That gap's dropped, hasn't it? 3 seconds now between those two. So maybe Xander fixing some damage that Fabian didn't have. We saw he lost the place and had some incidents, so potentially getting caught up in something there. But it's great to see some of the gaps still so close. We've got Luca Centorbi and Teo side by side. Luca Centorbi round the outside in the final corner. What a move. He moves himself up into 17th. Must have taken his pit stop and is trying to make his way back towards the midfield pack and see what he can do. He's not too far off some of those point scoring positions, is he? So he'll be bringing something home.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's going to be hopefully a long fight till the end. We've still got 50 minutes, so anything can happen. I mean, Cole and Duran might want to just start working together here, but it looks like Duran's going to go for a move into the final corner. Go down the inside.
Oh, he's made it stick. Carries all the speed through there, Duran does. Will Cole be able to come back at him onto the start-finish straight? He does. Oh, no, he's going to have to catch the slipstream into turn 1. I would personally go for the inside line here if you can. It's seemed to be powerful before, but he's going to give it up and give it to Cole. Can he make round the outside stick? He does. He stays ahead. Duran currently leading the GTE pack pre-pit stops. But like I said, well, like you said, working together here could be the good strategy, couldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with the gap that they have, or had, I believe it was near 20 seconds, so they definitely want to stop fighting. I mean, this is not helping either of their races, but clearly Sebastian has the pace, and he's already gapped Cole quite a bit.
Yeah, letting some lap traffic through there, so the fight's always going to break down a little bit whilst you let all of those faster cars go past you, and then it'll gradually close back up again when the two start lapping similar times. Although, if you can be smart with your lap traffic, it can help you in the long run, can't it? If you let them through in certain places, you can gain a bit of time over your competitors. Zam's still staying on the rear end of Milan. We'll see if he can come through and achieve a podium spot. I'm sure if he had the chance to snipe the podium from his teammate, he would, wouldn't he? Because at the end of the day, you're a racing driver, you're selfish, and you want to score the best position you can. So Milan not looking in his mirrors maybe yet, but towards the end of this race, he might have to.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they would prefer... Oh god, there's a bit of traffic there getting in the way of both of them. Not sure who that was, but luckily no contact there.
Connor Roberts was closing in on Tom Cliff, and you can see Chentorbi going fastest last lap of all the GT cars, a 2:03.4. He's going to have to do a couple more of those, isn't he, if he wants to catch up to those guys in front of him. Connor and Tom Cliff currently 20 seconds ahead.
Yeah, I mean, as we're 40 minutes into the race now, it's all starting to open up. I mean, there's currently a 100-second gap from the leader to Lasse. I mean, Verstappen's got nothing on Luca and Dretcher at the moment. We're seeing clear domination.
We were talking about the Dutch dominance of Milan, but then he got caught in the incident, and ooh, risk getting caught in another one there as we see the blue Ford of Jan getting a little bit out of shape. They were engaged in the battle, so you can see the frustration of having to let the lap cars through there, but blue flag rules, you've got to, make your presence aware. We see like you said, the rest of the field starting to open up a little bit. Zander not able to make any inroads towards, I believe, technical leader Fabian, who after pit stops will be leading the GTE pack as we head into the 48-minute mark before the end of the race. It's opening up a little bit, and it'll become a race of attrition towards the end, won't it? Who can manage and who's got a little bit extra pace to start closing in on their competitors.
Yeah, I mean, corner cone is definitely a big thing here. I believe I personally have made a mistake in the settings where if you get too many cuts, then you get a drive-through when originally it's supposed to be a 10-second penalty, but it's definitely another thing to worry about now with not cutting the track too much, otherwise it's going to cost you a lot of time doing a drive-through.
Manuel Steve could have been hit with a drive-through run in the back here, although doing things like that, going to give you another one. He was closing in on the car of Jan in front, but it's seeming to open up a little bit. The closest cars on track at the moment are still Zam and Milan, who look to be working together to try and catch up to those guys in front. Could they get away with a bit of bump drafting, do you think? Would that be smart of them to do in these cars?
In this game, definitely not. With these cars, probably not. I feel like the damage will just be too big. But Connor Roberts off the track. Not sure what happened there. Maybe just going a bit too deep with no ABS in these cars. It just makes it so easy to lock up the front tires. And it might have just, well, screwed him over there.
Yeah, the no ABS in those GTEs, I saw quite a few drivers struggling with. If we're having a look at Zander here, he's not locking up into turn one, but not really a lock-up spot. But a few of the corners, you can see some of these guys locking up quite often and flat spotting their tires early on, which, I mean, on a bumpy track already, the last thing you want is even more bumps in your tires. But I suppose some of them are going to just have to be dealing with that until the end of the race if they can't get the braking quite right. When do you think these two, Cole Bradbury and Sebastian Duran, who are having it out a couple laps ago, when do you think they're going to be thinking of coming into the pits from the lead of GTE?
Well, I believe the original plan of how we set it up was to make it so they would start coming in now, around this time, maybe in the next 5 minutes or so. So a few more laps, and I'm sure they'll start heading in and getting that pit stop, maybe changing the tires, changing the fuel. Not entirely sure. I don't think their tires can last a whole stint, so I think they're gonna have to change the tires as a little bit of strategy, so people Might be going full fuel for the first stint and half for the next, depending on how much fuel the car burns, but it gives a little bit of strategy involved, what I quite like about this.
You always want people to be running different strategies and seeing if they can make that work. After his spin there, Connor Roberts, he's going to have to think of a strategy to get out of, well, get Nicholas Plant away from his rear bumper, because Nicholas Plant closing within a second before we saw Lasse flying past, who's currently running second overall. But yes, things closing up in the LMP2 grid with Azam inching closer to Milan. Do you think there's going to be another swap there if Azam keeps up faster pace?
I mean, clearly, I think the plan was for Milan to just drag Azam along, but it doesn't look like Milan's making any inroads, and it looks like Azam might just be a tad bit quicker. So maybe they're going to be thinking about another swap, let Azam try and catch up. But it's up to Milan at this point. Does he want to lose this position? Do they think they can catch up? It's quite a lot of psychological involved. I believe I've used the wrong word for that, but yeah, it's just a lot of mind games. Do they think they can catch up? If so, sport positions, or just stay as it is, take the positions that you have and drive it home?
It looks like Milan may have pulled into the... Azam, sorry, has pulled into the pits there. Another stop for him. That's interesting. We'd already seen him in once, so he wasn't scheduled to go in again, was he? But this battle's heating up here. You've got Connor Roberts, Nicholas Plant, and Marco all within a second of each other. This is for 13th, 12th, and 14th overall, so we'll see who's going to be coming out on top. Nicholas Plant trying to go somewhere around Connor Roberts, but Connor Roberts going defensive here. Who do you think's getting out on top of this one? These guys closing back up. We saw Plant off the track, Roberts off the track earlier, so maybe that's closed this pack up a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to affect the... Oh my... As a small little dive, half-hearted attempt, but I believe someone's gone off. I believe Connor Roberts has gone off as well. This Nicholas is right there, wanting to overtake as the lap traffic goes past corner. Maybe not close enough now. The gap's gone back up to around a second, but very nearly an overtaking chance for Nicholas to try get through.
And Nicholas doing well here. He's sort of didn't have the greatest race start, but now he's going for it with Roberts, trying to make up some pace. And when you get into your groove, it can sometimes help, can't it? You can sometimes unlock a bit of potential that you didn't know you had, and you know, make up a couple positions in the race compared to qualifying. So he's going to catch a big toe down this back straight. I don't think it's going to be enough in these GTE cars to make a move into the final corner, but he'll be looking to keep Roberts on his toes, looking in his mirrors, and then try and make a move. Now, Lasse has pulled into the pits, I believe. No, sorry, Andretti has pulled into the pits, and potentially Lasse. Yes, Lasse and Andretti in the pits. So Milan takes second from Lasse, which is interesting. We weren't sure if they were going to be close enough. So Milan will be looking to get what he probably thinks is rightfully his first place after that incident. We'll see how much he can close in on Andretti, who, like you said, was looking utterly dominant out there today. I think Andretti's still going to be comfortably in first after this stop.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at the previous lap times, Luca Andretti with a 1:45.9 compared to Milan's 1:48.2. It doesn't look like anyone can catch his pace at the moment. He's just going to be dominating this, and I don't think we'll see a position change for that top spot.
It's a real shame what happened to Milan. His defense, like we were saying, was really impressive. Looking further down the field, we've got Nacho and Teo side by side down the back straight. They've got lap traffic to deal with too, but neither of them are going to want to yield a position, whether it's 20th overall or 1st overall. You want to race the car ahead of you, and Teo did manage to get past on the back straight as they see the car ahead of them as well, pulling into the pits. And looks like Nacho dropping back then into 21st overall. We'll see if he can catch anywhere nearer to Teo, who's in front.
I mean, we've seen some great racing in both classes. It just shows what the whole season's going to be now. Every race will hopefully be as exciting as this, but hopefully we don't have another person that dominates just like this one. Hopefully we have a few more LMP drivers, as a lot of them are retired or not shown up. So hopefully a few more come in and put the fight to Luca.
Interestingly, the gap after pit stops looks like 45 seconds, so Luca able to hold on to a big cushion there. We're seeing a couple of, I think, Tom Cliff pulling into the pits, he's really out of position for an LMP2, isn't he? He's down in the GTE pack still, not even able to make his way through there, so clearly something going wrong and him getting caught up in instance. But yeah, the dominant drive from Andretta, and it'll be interesting to see who's going to make some inroads and try and make some overtakes happen, as I think Corey Andrews as well pulled into the pits potentially, or as a couple of GT drivers anyway. They're making their positions up.
Yeah, as I hear from a source and a driver himself, apparently their PC has crashed and it's caused them to disconnect and not be able to continue with the race. We've seen that with 3 LMP drivers so far, so I'm not sure what's happened. Maybe something with the server's gone wrong, but I'll have to check that and see what's happened.
Be interesting to know, but Tom Harding, he'll be hoping Marco's PC disconnects, because he's currently stuck behind him in P11 overall, fighting for those top spots in GTE. So this is an important overtake for the 420 car to make on the 69 car, and I think I've always wanted to say that as a commentator. To see 69 and 420 battling, I mean, what more could you ask for from a race?
Yeah, I mean, it's just... This is the pinnacle of motorsport right here. 420 and 69 battling it out. What more could a man want?
Which number is funnier? We're about to find out. At the moment, Marco pulling a little bit of a gap to Harding in the 420 car. So we'll see through this final corner who manages to catch Harding. Harding quicker through there. About 4/10 quicker through the final corner. And there goes Marco in the 69 car into the pits. We didn't get the battle we wanted. Boo! But Harding moves up into 5th overall in class, I believe.
So we see the 69 car come into the pit lane now. So that battle is going to be over. 420 must be the better number.
Must be. Must be. Xander dropping back from Fabian still, so it looks like that battle for the lead of GTE is cooling off. Sebastian Duran still looking to make the overcut work. It's going to be interesting to see how much fuel he's got left and when he's going to come into the pits.
Yeah, I mean, everyone should be, if they haven't already, should be coming into the pit lane now. I'm surprised Sebastian Duran has still stayed out. I mean, nearly an hour into this race, he must be on full fuel and maybe some medium tires, but I'm not entirely sure about that. I'm just really surprised they could make it that far.
Yeah, it seemed like he suffered potentially with damage earlier on in collisions too, so you'd think he might have wanted to pits, but it looks like the lap times speak for themselves. A 2:02.7 last lap. He's absolutely flying out there. Side by side, Connor Roberts and Corey Andrews, and through goes Corey in the Ford car past the Porsche. Oh, that looked like a good move there. We only just caught the tail end of the battle, but he's making his way past Roberts in that Porsche, past through the hairpin. A lot of overtakes still going on track, of course. All of the cars lapping as well. They technically count as overtakes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a shame. We've seen many cars DNF and just get skewed. I believe we're up to 5 cars now that have DNF'd, have gone home, packed it all up. Very sad to see, but hopefully next round their luck is a little bit better and there's not as much crashing and chaos as there is now.
He's having a quiet race, isn't he? But Luca Centorbi is currently running 6th in class, and I think that's reasonably impressive from him, don't you? After where we saw him earlier on, his pace has been very consistent. It looks like he's finally got into a bit of a groove, and is trying to make his way towards Tom Harding. Whether he'll be able to catch in time, We don't know. We've still got 35 minutes left here, which is quite a while in racing, and if you can be consistent, that can make the difference.
Yeah, I mean, currently he's definitely found his pace. It's a little bit slower of a lap time that last lap, but maybe having to deal with a bit of traffic is the big factor in these multi-class races, is how you manage the traffic and how you can get past, how you can let the drivers through without losing as much time as possible. Because every second counts here, every tenth, just everything counts. You don't want to be involved in an instance, you don't want to lose any time.
Not at all. You want to be making sure you can manage your gaps, manage your lap times, and keep it consistent. Lasse will be thinking about keeping his pace up because the Zam is still within 3 seconds for that second place spot on the LMP2 podium. So it'll be interesting to see who gets on top on that battle. If he wants to make something happen, Zam's going to have to find maybe a little bit more pace. At the moment, Lasse comfortably matching the lap times there. And Duran's still leading in that GTE class. He is absolutely flying out there, trying to, I guess, make that overcut work, or potentially he's done a pit stop already without our knowledge, and this is the actual lead of the race, and Duran's made his way back through after a pretty poor start.
I mean, maybe when he had that poor start, maybe he instantly went into the pit lane and we didn't notice. We only saw him when he came out. But, I mean, he's slowly increasing that gap, so maybe the overcut might just work with the low fuel, bit worn tires. So that's the only real concern that I'd have. Maybe the tires starting to fall off with the low fuel as well. As Connor Roberts getting in his way is all over the place. Oh, and Connor Roberts is off.
Off he goes. Lap traffic there. Well, getting out of the way to a bit of an extreme, wasn't it? And that's pushed Connor Roberts into the grasp of the 69 car of Marco. So Marco going to try and capitalize off that mistake. Yet another mistake for Roberts, who's had pace, but again, just getting caught up in a couple too many incidents, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the 69 car is coming for Connor Roberts now. He's got the slipstream. He's closing that gap. The Corvette is known for its top speed, its high-end speed compared to others. Going into the first turn.
No!
Oh, there's contact. There's a big crash.
Oh.
The 69 car is off.
The 69 car smacks the rear end of Connor Roberts and then just comes into the wall. Oh, dear. That's awful.
A massive touch for the 69 car. Connor Roberts is off, I believe. I'm not sure what's happened to him, if he's actually survived or not.
He's back on the track now. Oh, Marco just missed his braking point, didn't he? And just smashed into the rear end of him, the 69 car. Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's absolutely awful. I mean, the 69 car is going to have to find his way, find the pace, come back through the field. As there is an LMP
LMP2 off. Who's that? Is that Ryan off? No, no, it must have been Tom Cliff. Yeah, Tom
not
Cliff
having a
off.
great race. Clearly being behind a quite. Oh, it's Luke and Dre got a drive-through for repeated cuts.
So possibly quite a few drivers suffering with these drive-thrus then. That's why we've seen a couple extra pit stops. I tell you what though, after that incident, the 69 car is starting to edge slowly towards Connor Roberts. So we'll see if he can get within that 1 second mark again.
Yeah, sorry, Mylan Ailing is in the pit lane, I believe now. Oh no, I think he's just come out of it. He's now 30 seconds behind his teammate. Maybe he's been involved in another incident?
He went for a pit stop. He was running in second at one point and then went in for another pit stop. Whether that was a drive-through or pit stop, we don't know. But yeah, definitely the lead for this race could get interesting if Lasse is able to capitalize on Luca Andretta's misfortune. There is a bit of a... Well, not really a battle, I suppose, because Joseph Davies not in the same class. Tom Cliff is an LMP2 car, so he's just pulling away there. Really not sure what happened to Tom Cliff. He's just been caught up in lots of incidents. To finish behind the GTEs, it's a bit embarrassing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's still got 30 minutes, to to change that, but there are massive gaps. I mean, I believe he's even a lap down or 2 laps down from some of them. So he's going to have to get on with this very quickly.
Nacho trying to make a move on Joseph Davies. We've seen some of these guys towards the back battling out. Big lockup from Joseph Davies' car in front at number 89. So that's going to allow Nacho to gain a bit of time onto this start-finish straight as we see Milan going past. And there, oh, Joseph pulls into the pit lane. Flat spotted his tyres. Now's a good time. So there, Luca Andretti's been in the pits. Let's see. Oh, no, Lasse! That's not what you want to be doing now. Oh, not when you have an opportunity like this. He's gone off. Oh, dear. Well, he's not going to be able to capitalize at all, is he?
Azam will, though. Azam only a second behind now. He's really cool. That error must have been massive. He must have been in some big incident. Only 1.5 seconds behind. Azam's going to have to try and catch back up, overtake him, and then slow him down so Milan can try and make his way back up to him. Just like Milan tried to do with Luca Andretti.
A man we've just seen get a drive-through as well is Luca Centorbi, who I thought was close on track, but it's just a Tom Cliff, the LMP2 making his way through. So, gonna harm his race a bit as he was making a bit of a comeback and was closing in on Jan, but never mind. Lasse, again, that mistake. Wow. It shows how it can change driving in your mirrors and, you know, being given a bit of an opportunity to catch the car ahead and then you mess it up. It's going to be tough for him to make it any closer to Andretti now, so a real shame he's gone off there, but Azam will be sniffing the opportunity out and trying to catch just that little bit more. When you can see the driver, sometimes that helps, doesn't it? It helps you get closer and closer.
Yeah, it definitely gives you a little bit of extra speed. I mean, it's a lot of racing is just psychological. I mean, seeing your car behind, you start to feel the pressure, and it just gets to your mind. You start making small mistakes that eventually leads to big ones. As we see a car going off there.
Nacho off, and he lets Teo through. He doesn't let Connor through, though, and Teo goes wide as well, so Nacho going to get back past there. Wow. This is a great little scrap here down in the midfield of the GTE class. Teo now running behind those after he goes off. Nacho leading the pack, and Connor Roberts also pretty close between them. Oh, it's one of those lap traffic, sorry. I think it's Teo and Nacho just find it out here. Teo going to try and go around the outside. He can't make it work. Not quite. He was hoping to, but unfortunately for him, that's not going to be a move he's able to make. But he's closing in on Nacho there. Doing well.
You can see them go side by side out of turn 1. It's going to be a great little scrap here. It's going into turn 2. Nacho just staying behind. Is the car ahead? No, I believe is that another lapped car, or?
That's the car of Cole Bradbury. So I think, was it not Cole Bradbury? I thought maybe Corey Andrews up ahead. So he's running a little bit further ahead in the GTE class. We've got Nicholas Plant getting overtaken by Tom Cliff, who's making his way through again. But yeah, some interesting battles here. They're getting closer and closer. Who do you think is going to be able to make some wins in these last 25 minutes of racing here at Sebring?
I mean, I definitely can see the GTE field getting a bit messy. A few more overtakes. I mean, there is a massive field right now. I believe there's nearly 20 GTEs. All the LMPs have had their mistakes, or, well, their computers have had their own mistakes. So a lot of the whole field right now is just the GTE, but hopefully they can all close up again.
Duran has been in for his pit stop, by the way, so he's dropped behind Cole Bradbury, but only 2 seconds behind, so the overcut not quite working. It does give Fabian the lead of GT class, and it's looking reasonably comfortable at the moment as some lap cars go through. And oh no, Bradbury slowed way down. Oh, into the pits, so Duran takes 3rd overall in class. It's a 30-second gap to Zander. Oh, 25 minutes, 30 seconds. It's going to have to be quick. But he has tried to make that overcut work. So we'll see if now being on the faster tires is going to help him out, or what do you think?
Yeah, I have a feeling he did swap tires in the pit lane. I'm not sure if the others did, because I believe he was gaining time on Fabienne and Zander before the pit stop, and now he's 10 seconds behind his, well, original point before Fabienne left. So maybe there was a bit of, maybe he took more fuel than the rest going. I'm not sure. I mean, it's still 25 minutes. He's gonna have to gain nearly 2 seconds a lap to get back to Zander. I mean, currently he's 1.9 seconds. So he could very well do it, but it's going to be extremely close.
Luca Andretta pops in a new fastest lap as well, a 1:45.3. That's the fastest lap of the race so far. Obviously nowhere near where we were seeing qualifying times, but yeah, I think it's been a dominant showing from him today, hasn't it? As Tom Cliff still trying to make his way past all of these GTE cars. Oh, it doesn't feel good, does it, when you're in a faster class getting outperformed by a slower class?
Yeah, no, it's definitely not a great feeling at all. 25 minutes, he's got maybe quite big gaps now, actually. He's got 30 seconds, or 25 seconds just in front of him, and then another 30 seconds to the car ahead of that. So it's going to be quite tight if he can actually get back to his own class or not. I'm not sure if he'll be able to do it.
Lasse has pulled a little bit of a gap on Azam too. We saw the mistake earlier, which pushed him close enough to Azam, but Azam not able to keep up the same pace. And has dropped back 7 seconds now, the gap between those two. And Milan, again, after his incidents, leading the race early on, but a big crash from him, and now he's stuck in fourth, 20 seconds behind Azam, so really unfortunate for Milan.
Yeah, I mean, you even see Azam just slowly getting gapped by Lasse, just slowly inching backwards, and I think the LMP field is quite set right for now until the end, but you never know. Luca might have his game crash as well, like a few others. It's very possible at this point.
Yeah, I wouldn't be hoping for that too much. As Connor Roberts, he's trying it around the outside of Nacho, but Nacho's defensive line works there. Let's see if he can catch the toe through this faster section of corners. Very close here in GTE. Nacho making his way up after people suffer from track cuts and pit stops. Down the inside goes Connor. Ooh, was that a bit of contact there? I don't think so. I think they kept it just about clean, but they're going to be very close to each other through this next complex of corners, so keep it respectful. There's still quite a while of the race left yet. Oh, touching the grass there is Connor, really trying to maximize his use of the track. Let's see, is he going to be able to make anything move? You've got Milan or Azam coming through there too, so don't want to get in either of their way, but they're still keeping this battle going round this fast left-hander. We have to really swing the car into the next right-hander. Connor still follows, dropping back a little bit. Nacho faster, and ooh, he's getting on the mud there. That's gonna hurt his lap time a little bit. His traction, his drive isn't going to be as good as Nacho's was, who was just on the curb. And you've got another GTE trying to lap those guys, even though they're fighting. Getting a bit squirrely.
Thought there might have just been contact. No, there is contact.
No!
Connor Roberts drives into the wall.
Whoa, Roberts, that's another incident for him. He was running so high up earlier on, and it's been a real tough race on his end, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's been looking quite all over the place this race, so maybe not entirely used to the car, not used to the setup, didn't put enough practice in. But as we see Azam get a drive-through now, it looks like that gap's gonna...
And that's after Lasse's
and
pulling in
Lasse.
as well. What's happened to Lasse? Is he off? He's not been... Is that the pit? No, that's the pit lane. So he must have drive-through 2 or a pit stop. So Azam's going to have one now. And that's going to hurt Azam because he just got second place back.
Yeah, I mean, It looks like Lasse just had one himself. Maybe a little pit stop, but yeah, I believe he's had his own drive-through, and Azam's got his one as well. So, not the greatest thing to happen. Maybe Milan can use this, but he's also dropped back quite a lot. He's gaining at the moment really rapidly. Maybe Lasse's had another incident? Or the gaps are just starting to form itself out. But Milan's gap going all over the place. I'm not entirely sure what's happened there. But yeah, Corey Andrews is in a world of his own at the moment. I mean, 20-second gap to the car behind Cole. Had a little bit of a disappointing race, I think. I think he was quite up there before. I'm not entirely sure what's happened. Maybe others made their pit stops earlier. Because, I mean, he was just with Sebastian Duran not like, maybe 20 minutes ago. So it's very much a surprise to see this. I'm not sure how he's fallen so far back. I mean, even the 69 car is edging his way towards Cole very slowly, though. The gap hasn't changed that much in these last few laps. But I do believe the seconds before. I mean, a second quicker on that last lap. 18 minutes ago, Zander just needs to put them consistent low 2-minute threes down. And he might just be able to catch back up. But maybe Fabienne's just trying to be safe and be consistent, not crash, not do anything stupid. And there's not long left to go. The race is nearly over. We've had an hour and 10 minutes. Maybe people are starting to get fatigued. Just wanting this to finish now. As we go on board with Lucas and Torby going into the hairpin here. A very nice Ferrari. Very nice livery there. Made by Ethan, his teammate.
Ethan not running in the race anymore either. He has retired, which is a shame for him. Fabian looking pretty confident in the lead, but actually I've noticed Sanders caught a little bit in the last couple laps. So that's interesting. The gap gone down from 6 seconds to 5. You think any chance of a win for Zander today? We saw he was fast in qualifying, so if you can pull out that pace again, then potentially.
I mean, you just missed it, but I was talking about this. He was that, okay, not this lap, but the lap before he was around a second quicker. And the gap has been slowly dropping, I believe. So I think he might just be able to get that lap time and just inch ahead.
Milan's drive through taken, pushes him a lap down off the lead lap. Now Azam. So has Azam taken his drive through then? Was he able to hang on to P2?
I mean, it looks like it. I mean, can we just talk about that 1.1 lap lead from Luca and Dretta? It's just crazy. Max Verstappen could not do this if he tried. A whole lap ahead.
Put him and Alonso in Le Mans and you'll see.
That Alonso driver's a little bit washed recently. I'm not too sure about that.
Ooh, don't say that. You don't want to start an argument in the commentary booth, do you? Luca Centorbi has caught right up to Connor Roberts. He's going to try and get past him now. Now, we've seen some aggressive moves from Centorbi before, especially on a certain man named Timo. Let's hope he doesn't do what he's done to him. And Roberts runs out of contact slightly, but Centorbi squeezes through. He forces the room. Switchback sort of there as Roberts just messed up his defense. Wasn't able to keep Centorbi behind. It wasn't very clean, that was it? A bit of a messy one.
No, not really. I mean, I think Connor's just struggling with the no ABS in this car. No anti-brake locking mechanism. it just means that these cars are really easy to lock their front wheels and just go straight, not be able to slow down. As we see him look there again, the smoke coming from his tyre, just looking that tiny bit, and it's clearly damaging his race, just not being used to the car at all.
These drivers are allowed to make small adjustments to the setup, including brake adjustments. So if you were struggling with front locking, for example, like that, what could these guys do to potentially make it a bit easier for themselves if they're not so confident on their brakes?
I mean, definitely just braking it a tiny bit earlier and having that little bit less brake pressure on. I mean, it doesn't sound too difficult, but just that the 1 extra percent can result in locking the tires on.
I believe as well you could always turn the brake power down slightly if you wanted to too, and have a bit of a longer braking zone, sort of like you were talking about, but it would be a little bit less prone to locking, which could help find some lap time for these drivers. A man who is finding lap time, last say, that gap's still creeping down. Do you think he's going to get towards Azam by the end of this race?
It'll be very close. I mean, 14 minutes left. I think he might just be able to do it with these lap times. Second quicker that last lap. He's definitely capable of catching up, but it's the thing of you might be able to catch up, but can you overtake? Because we've seen great defenses from, I mean, Azam's teammate Mylan. Will Azam be able to replicate that and keep Lasse behind once he catches? Oh my, Azam's very close with that GTE, but Lasse just timing that to perfection.
Joseph Davies and Nacho are very close on track here. Joseph Davies looking to squeeze himself round the outside of Nacho. Is not able to, though. Nacho staying ahead. It's been a tough race for Joseph, I think. We saw him make a couple moves. We saw him get overtaken a couple times. But here he goes. Oh, big lock up. He's just about kept it on track, side by side still. Going into the next complex of corner. And Joseph gets ahead. Good move there for him. And oh, Lasse's got another drive-through. That's it. His chances for P2 are likely over now.
Yeah, honestly, I'm a bit surprised with how many people are getting these corner cut. I mean, it's quite a hard track to cut, except from this final set to here. I mean, you can take quite a lot of runoff and just abuse it, but you also run the risk of getting them track limits. And there's a spin for Luca and Dretcher, I believe that was. I believe that's the race leader.
Yeah, Luca and Dretcher getting out of shape. I mean, I'm sure his 1.1 lap advantage will probably make him not too worried about that mistake, but he'd have to do a lot more of those if he wanted Azam to have any kind of chance of catching him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just a massive gap. No one's catching unless something unbelievable happens. But it doesn't seem too likely.
Davies makes another spot up as Connor Roberts has had to take a drive through for cutting. I saw that pop up. There you go. He's taking it now. So that means he's out the pit lane. And Joseph Davies now. Oh, what a move! Down the... Oh, no, he's lost it on the exit. That was a dive bomb and a half on Emmanuel Steven. And now he lets Nacho back past as well. Poor Joseph. That was actually an incredible move there. It's a shame he wasn't able to make it stick, but... risk versus reward, I suppose. That's what you can say.
Yeah, just sending it a little bit too hot into the corner. Just losing all the rear grip and just going around. Nacho, though, back through. 10 minutes to defend and keep this position near the back of the field, but still, every position counts.
And how many positions will be scoring points today, Luca?
From what I remember, it's been quite a while. I believe it's the top 8 from each class.
Alright.
So, all the running LMPs will be getting points here, and the top 8 of GTE.
So GTE, there are points still to fight for if you're close to that top 8. Just trying to do some quick maths. We've got Fabian first, Sander second, Sebastian third, Tom fourth, Corey fifth, Cole 6th, Marco 7th, Nicholas. So Nicholas Plant currently in that last point scoring position. So if you can catch to him, which seems unlikely given the 53-second gap to Teo behind, who's just taken a drive-through as well, you could be in with a chance of some points. Chentorbi might get past Teo here on pit exit. He does, I believe, which is going to give him the step closer to the points. Oh, no, not quite. Teo able to maintain, actually, and stay ahead just about.
Yeah, Teo's now on that back straight, just going through. Luca
side by
might
side
have
here
the pace
though.
to catch up.
Nacho and Joseph, sorry to interrupt, but they're side by side through turn 1. Joseph locking up again, trying to be aggressive on the brakes. That's what we saw him make a mistake last time, but he makes it stick. And he's through. Emmanuel Steven just ahead, so he couldn't make this dive bomb work. He's tried it again, and he's learnt from his mistake. Joseph Davies makes the double overtake on Nacho and Emmanuel. Wow, what a move. Close between these guys. I know it's not for points, but still, as a racing driver, you just want to get past as many people as you can. Nacho around the outside of Emmanuel. Wow, what a move. So Nacho looking at Joseph's aggressive driving style and saying, you know what? I wouldn't mind doing a bit of that myself. And he makes it past Emmanuel.
Would it be... maybe Emmanuel has a slight issue. I mean, he looked really slow in that corner with Joseph Davies, and then coming out of the corner as well, he looked like compared to Nacho. And he's dropping back even down the straight. Maybe a little bit of fuel saving, maybe under-fueled? Because he seems to be catching up back up now, so maybe just lost his focus, made a few mistakes, and let his teammate through what is Nacho. So maybe just let Nacho try and get that position back.
Yeah, maybe like a bit of confidence. He was backing those two up for quite a while until Joseph made that move there. Obviously had the spin earlier, so I think, yeah, just backing those guys up was probably his plan, and maybe not too confident that he could actually make much more of an impact once they got past him. But Nacho trying to make an impact still on Joseph. He's going to be catching the toe down this back straight. Let's see if he can send one to the inside. Joseph's leaving the room. He does. He pulls out of the slipstream side by side into the final corner. Who's going to be the more confident on the brakes? They get very close, and Nacho gets through. Can he keep it? Can he keep it out the wall? No, he drifts wide. Has to lift off a little bit. And he... Ooh, oh, Joseph stayed ahead there. I thought he was going to be in the wall for a second. That got
Joseph
very close.
Joseph went for the switch back there. Knew Nacho was going to go a bit wide, bit too late on the brakes. As Nacho tries to go around the outside, but goes really wide there. Going, yeah, just losing a bunch of time now. 1 second behind. He's just going to have to try and get that time back before the finish and try and overtake again. But it's been a great battle between these lot. I thought Joseph had a big moment there, coming out of that corner. Looked very sideways.
Managed to keep it on the track somehow, but yeah, shows though what can happen when you're too aggressive. Both Joseph and Nacho suffering issues from lockups and spins and slides. So if they can just calm down a little bit and play the long game, and there's still 7 minutes left in the race, which although doesn't seem like the longest period of time ever, considering how long it's been, it is still a while. You could, if you're within a second of someone, you can definitely make something happen. So for Nacho now, it's all about the consistency and get Joseph driving in his mirrors and see what you can do from there.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a lot of mistakes from Joseph, so Nacho just needs to fill his mirrors. We see another lockup. Not too bad, though. Nacho just needs to get into the mirrors, get a psychological advantage, and just pressure Joseph into making mistakes and being able to capitalize on it, just going straight back through. And that's what he hopes with 6.5 minutes to go into the final stages of the race. The sun is still coming down, and it's been a great little battle.
And it's still going on because Nacho going to catch a bit of a slipstream down the back straight. I doubt a move will be happening into the final corner, but if Nacho can get a good run through there, we saw him being able to be quite confident into their last lap. Looks like he broke a bit earlier, but if his exit's good enough, he'll get a good run down the start-finish straight. I might be able to make something happen on this lap. Not quite. Joseph able to have a nice... I still think one of the hardest parts of this track is that final corner. So bumpy, so easy for the car to get misplaced. So getting the braking point right for there, it is really crucial to your lap time. And someone off in the background. Is that Connor Roberts? No, it's might be a manual.
Steve?
I'm not sure. It looked like a Porsche to me, but I possibly someone further ahead. I haven't seen anyone.
Oh, I believe it's Jacob Legler in last position.
Oh dear,
Not
Jacob.
entirely sure what he's doing.
I'm not sure how he's ended up behind the Commenated, to be honest.
I think he joined halfway through the race and why no one was noticed.
Right, well, there we go. Jacob, if you can get past the Commenator, then I'll be very impressed. Lasse pops in the fastest lap, a 1:44.9. I don't think it's going to go too far this late in the race, but he might. Does he secure an extra point for that?
Wait, pardon, sorry, what was your question?
Fastest lap, Lasse's just gone for it. It's not really going to make an impact on Azam or Luca Andretta in front, but does he get a point for achieving that?
Yep, well, for each class, whoever gets the fastest lap will get the added-on bonus. Oh, as we see another disconnect, Sebastian Duran as well. Apparently he's disconnected and now he's out.
That's really bad. He was running in P3 as well. That was a great little race from Sebastian. Amazing comeback from him. To have it end like that 4 minutes before the end is heartbreaking. I feel really bad. Tom Harding, on the other hand, he's going to be happy because that moves him into the podium positions. And with a relatively comfortable lead over Corey Andrews behind. It looks like we have one of the LMP2 cars in the pits. Tom Cliff, potentially, as Corey was gaining a bit of time there. But yeah, Corey Andrews, he needs to catch quite a lot if he wants a chance at the podium. And within 3 minutes, I don't think that's possible. So Tom Harding will be the winner from that disconnect. But of course, Duran, who put in some great racing for us. It's a real shame to see him leave so late in the race.
Yeah, I mean, only 4 minutes to go. That's heartbreaking. What a performance he had. Everything gone wrong, and he made it back up. He got back up into the top 3 or 4 positions, and it's all been taken away from him. But I believe he's joined back, and he's just behind Cole now, and behind the 69 car. Maybe he's trying to get back into the race, salvage a point.
Yeah, he's going to be having that massive penalty lock, though, so he's dropping back even to out the points once Teo passes him. So I think, unfortunately for Duran, there's not much he's going to be able to do. It's a real shame because he's pulling out now, so we'll see if he's able to maybe secure a couple points, but he definitely deserved more out of this race. He was an absolutely phenomenal recovery drive from him, so it's a real shame to see him this far back. And yeah, he's dropped behind Connor Roberts on the live timing screen now, which it's unfair. It is unfair, and motorsports can be unfair like that, and it's a real shame.
Yeah, it's truly heartbreaking with that little time left as we just see a Porsche go flying in the background.
No idea who that was, but they just absolutely lost it into that hairpin as we were watching Nacho there. Oh dear. The things that happen in the last 2 minutes of a sim race. What can you say?
Yeah.
Closest battle is between Nacho and Joseph still. Joseph trying to extend that lead. Nacho putting in some of his fastest laps as he pushes towards the end. I have to commend these drivers because obviously they're not racing for any points, just position at the moment. But, you know, it's good to see them still, after an hour and a half, pushing the limits of the car just to make one position up, you know? That's the racing mentality, and that's what we love to see. So, yeah, huge commendment to those drivers for being able to do that.
Yeah, it's always amazing to see. Just even if you are near the back, you still got the fighting mentality to get as many positions as you can. And I mean, even if it is not for points, it's just for the bragging rights. They're putting up a great fight for us, but they did. And yeah, I mean, it's just good to see.
It's been a good drive from Fabian as well, hasn't it? We saw making moves early on Xander when Xander made mistakes, and despite not locking out maybe pole position, it's been quite a dominant drive and very consistent from Fabian. So huge commendments there. It's been impressive, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, she has definitely controlled the race for the GTE. I thought Xander would be very much clear with that pole position lap time he set out of nowhere. I mean, we'd never seen someone go below a 201.5. So to do it a 2-minute 8, I mean 7/10 gain into the quality session is crazy. I thought he'd run away, but Fabienne just maybe got a little bit better race pace. The 4GT, maybe her setup is more suited to the race, and it's well clearly worked.
I think
With an 8-second
potentially
lead.
with when it comes to Xander, those incidents early on, getting damage on the car is never going to be useful, and potentially suffering with some now. Obviously, we've not seen his full race, but I think that's what's allowed her to walk away with it, is just being consistent. We saw that she was very clean, and Luca Andretta does cross the line to become round 1 Sebring race winner as he's on the final lap. He's gonna become the first race winner of round 1, and it's gonna be great for him, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, a truly dominant performance. Not really anything that went wrong with his drive today, except from the start. Getting a little bit mixed up with a few people, but he's bringing it back, and a whole lap lead. Just crazy.
Yeah, 1 lap over an hour and a half is not an easy feat to achieve, and Luca Andretta has started on pole, didn't lead every lap, for sure, but remained consistent throughout, and is now enjoying his final lap round Sebring to take home the victory. And hang on a minute, though. Hang on a minute, because Xander's moved into the lead. Oh, no, they have all finished the race now. I apologize. I thought we were on the final lap. I must have been reading it wrong. So, Luca Andretta takes the win for round 1. And Fabian takes the GTE win for round 1. Great drives from them both. And it's going to put them at the top of their respective championship standings, which is always a good thing to have after round 1. Luca, any closing thoughts on the race today? I thought it was really good at the start. We had some great battling between Milan and Andretta, and then some dominant driving from our respective class leaders.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been a great race. The first 40 minutes or so, just great battling all throughout the field, and then it started to spread out, but we still had individual battles going on, and I don't think there was a dull moment there.
Definitely not. The midfield and every driver pushing each other was an absolute joy to watch. You could see just how close some of those battles were, even towards the rear of the pack. So yeah, it's definitely been an impressive race, and for all of the drivers, if we don't get to say it to you afterwards, thank you for putting on a great show for us to watch. And we hope you enjoyed. Take home your points. And remember, it's still all to play for in the championship after round 1 if you did suffer from issues. Luca Andretta takes lead at the moment. But we'll see in the next coming races who's able to close that gap towards them.
Hey, sorry to interrupt, but I believe we have our first interview here now. Luca Andretta will be joining us right now.
Oh,
Hello, Luca Andretta.
whoa, where am I? Oh, I'm here. Hello.
You're in the commentary booth.
Yes.
So, a very dominant performance from you. A 1.2 lap lead over the car in second as I mean, what were your thoughts on the whole race?
It was I did some, it was fun. It was a good race. There was lots of traffic to fight your way through. It was very exciting, but definitely the first 30 minutes of the race. My God. I was just battling with Milan for 30 minutes straight. That was the most fun I've had probably in a long time. Um, and yeah, and then just it was trying to not get cut tracks because yeah, the cut tracks were different than in practice, so I was figuring it out as I went, and then I had a drive through, And that last cut is I was thinking about just doing 40 minutes, no track cuts. But then a GTE car pushed me out wide, and then I got that last track cut and got a drive through. But never mind, I was over a minute ahead, so who cares? And yeah, and then it was just about honestly, in my opinion, just setting the quickest lap I could. I was trying to go for a 44.8. I had a 44.8 in me with the even with the worn tires at the end, but I just kept on getting traffic, and then I had Lassa in front of me, and yeah, I was trying to use his slipstream, but I was always too far away, and there was always traffic, and yeah.
I love
I
how after
mean,
such a dominant drive, you focus on wanting the fastest lap as well. True racing driver mentality. You did mention there your battle with Milan near the start. Can you give us a bit of insight? What happened in that instant? We saw Milan spun round. He was obviously trying to back you up a little bit for the first 30 minutes and maintain the lead, but then it ended up not going his way. Can you shed some light on what happened?
I mean, at the start of the race, I think I didn't know how the start was gonna go because I did do the driver's briefing, but I thought in chat there would be another thing to say. Okay, leader control, blah blah blah. I fell back the field because I didn't know that, so I did drive, drive, drive. We go fast, try to overtake everyone, and now I'm behind Milan. So now Milan kept on braking too much and basically parking his car on the apex. So I had to slam on the brakes to not absolutely kill him, and that was always sketchy. And then that incident happened due to a GT3 car, GTE, sorry, my bad. GTE being in the middle of sunset. He went on the outside, I went on the inside, but I think he wasn't expecting the GTE car to go that wide out of the corner, and he would have to correct over the bumps, and that probably unsettled his car, or it was contact. I'm not sure myself, but I made it by Toomey, thankfully. But yeah.
Yeah, good job you didn't get caught up in that. It was quite a big crash. We saw the tail end of it on the stream. Unfortunately, missed what actually caused the collision. So we're not too sure until we talk to Milan ourselves. But yeah, an incredible race, and we always thought you were going to pass him, but he was just trying to back you up into potentially his teammate and see if that could put some pressure on you. And it was really smart, clever, and clean driving from you both. Overall, did you enjoy the race? Was it satisfying to lead with such a margin in just 1 hour 30?
It was hella fun. Definitely this race. That was really really fun. Just trying to stay in front, looking at the times, managing my tires, seeing. I mean, if I can even make it on fuel. I was overfueled as crazy, so I don't know why I was looking, but just driving through the traffic as an LMP2. I mean, yeah, I'm just not trying to cause a contact, but it's really fun when it goes cleanly. It's really really good.
I'm glad to hear it. Luca, is there anything else you want to add for Luca Andretta?
Um, More fast people, please come. Please come. I want to do the driving, please. Thank you.
I mean, I'm sure you'll have future battles with Milan again because that
Yeah,
was insane.
yeah,
And hopefully a little bit more luck for Lasse. I'm not sure what happened to him, but
yeah.
yeah.
I
Okay.
hope I hope the VOD will be up this time.
It should be.
Hope you've
I
changed
did
the
check.
settings.
I did.
I would really want to watch that back. That's so cool.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much. Have a great day.
Thank
Yeah,
you so
you too.
much. Well done on the win. Brilliant drive.
Okay, so we can have second place GTE winner, GTE for the GTE, as the person in first currently died, I believe, disappeared something.
Yeah, I think we're going to have Xander in now, who was second in GTE class. So let's get him in. Hey, Xander. Welcome to Commentary
Hello.
Booth. How's it going? Congratulations
Pretty
on the
good.
P2 today and a
Yeah,
great
good
pole
start.
position as well. How are you feeling after race one?
Actually, really good. Had pretty much no mistakes. Didn't get any. I had maybe 3 track cut penalties, and I kept it consistent the whole race. So it was nice.
That's really good. We saw you leading GTE pack at one point. What happened for Fabian to get past?
Just a few tenths quicker with pace, really.
Interesting. And obviously, sometimes that qualifying and race pace can be different, especially two different cars as well. So potentially one bit kinder on the tires. But overall, it was very close between you two. And how was your concentration for that amount of time? We know Sebring's a tricky track.
I mean, I did plenty of practice, so I had a good feel for it. And I really just didn't, at least during the race, I didn't push super hard just to make sure the bumps didn't kill me.
That's true. Anything else? I mean, did you get caught up in any incidents at all? We saw mostly clean racing, I think, from you guys near the front there. Any struggles with track limits as well? We heard a couple drivers talking about.
Well, I didn't at least, but I mean, the track limits on the track did change somehow. I don't know what happened, but RP was saying track cuts that weren't track cuts in the practice server, so that's another issue. But basically, like, me and Fabienne had a soft medium strategy, so we kind of pulled away from the pack at the beginning, and then her pace just caught up to me and then overtook me at one point, and then it was pretty much just clean from that point on because no one else had the pace to catch up.
Yeah, it was really good from you guys. We saw Sebastian Duran was closing in, but technical issues and I think an incident at the start pushed him back. Yeah. So potentially for next race, if he has some better luck, he could be a bit of a challenger for you guys at the front.
Oh, I definitely think so. He was fastest in the practice server at least, and really quick in quali. He just had a unfortunate event in like the second or third lap, and then I guess he had like a drive-through, I think, too.
He had a connection issue at one point and ended up...
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, disconnected, so... Real shame. But Luca, anything you would like to add?
I do have a question for you in qualifying. I believe in practice, the fastest lap was a 2:01.5 or around there. And you pulled up with a 2:02 minute .5, I believe.
Yeah, basically all through the practice this week, I just couldn't put like the perfect lap together. And then on like the last lap in qualifying, I was like, oh, I'm 4/10 up. What is happening? I'm sorry. Like it was like the one-of lap, like just perfect everywhere for me.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely surprised when I saw it. I was thinking that no one would even be able to get close to the 2-minute flats, and
well, I mean,
you did
I don't know if the practice server recorded anything incorrectly, but Duran had a 2-minute .5 and Fabian had a 2-minute .8, so it was definitely possible by some of us.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's that below 2-minute mark would have been really tough, but congratulations on the P2. It's going to put you in a good spot for the rest of the championship. You're looking forward to the next couple of races?
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I know Spa's a bit away, but I'm looking forward to that. But Portimao and Dubai Autodrome, I haven't driven at all, so I'll just have to learn that and hope I can get up to pace.
Oh yeah, so Dubai Autodrome, apparently everyone hates it, so I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun there.
Yeah, I can't hate it yet because I haven't driven it, but I did look at the track map and some of the turns didn't look that fun, but we'll see.
Personally, I actually quite enjoyed the track when I've driven it, so there you go. There's a difference in opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't driven it yet, so I can't really make any opinions, so...
All right, thank you for joining us, and congrats on your P2 finish.
Yeah, of course, thank you.
Thank you, Xander. Well done. All right, is that all the interviews as far as I'm seeing, Luca?
Yes, I believe it will be.
All right, so that does conclude OTL Round 1 Sebring. What a race. The championship results will be posted in the Discord, as well as the race results with any penalties added on. But overall, I think that was a good first race. A couple issues to be ironed out, of course, as with any race. But yeah, I enjoyed myself. Thank you, Luca, for the organization and joining me in the commentary booth for the full, 2 hours we were in there, including qualifying.
Yeah, thank you for the amazing commentary and the great jokes.
I'll see you all next time when you tune in. When's the next race, Luca? Off the top of your head?
I believe it is next weekend.
Next weekend?
Next Saturday, the 23rd of March.
Right, so you better be
there.
next
Saturday.
Next Saturday, round 2, OTL is still all to play for. I'll see you all later. Have a lovely rest of your evening, and goodbye, everybody. Bye.